Can't beat us, join us, please bring your coinage. We sink 3-pointers, money shots all net, all vets. Bums we not, jet skiing in them sunny spots. With women edible like gummy drops. Dummy stop, dummy stop. No weapon form can intercept a storm. Once my intellect is on, I'm projecting on magnetic fields and interact with blacks with athletic bills. I'm all about growth and development like residents of Ebbets Fields. Not to choose between woo and chew. We wanna line them colors up like a Rubik's Cube and fade to black, yeah, the truest hue. When you say the black man is God, who you alluded to? The usual, Clarence 13X, a worthy guess. The words expressed come from the word in flesh. Elijah M, the NOI versus Leviathan. Messiah sent from the heavenly branches. 7 P's from since G-Dub cut down the cherry tree. In the wilderness of North Mex, and we flossing death and forced aggression, or forced perception, forced protection, or forced confessions. It's all a lesson.
The sorcerers from Corsica, killer tonics, sticks and drums like the Philharmonic Orchestra. You niggas still playing harmonicas from officers, fabric softener. Jive turkeys popping 5 perkies, playing with keys, the Scotch stores type. For that soft white, we could've caught life, just being forthright. First class on my 4th flight, popping out like Fortnite. Every night we lit like Porsche lights. The meek shall inherit the earth, oh yeah, the scorched type. And these niggas, they some hoes in these streets. Me, I'm 10 toes in these streets. They lost their souls, niggas got holes in their feet. Shit, I'm just worried about the craft and how to perfect it. Not worried about the craft, yeah, that's out of perspectives. Focus on the chip like I'm Robert Kraft, and then how to protect it. It's the waves of the oceans. Get to the money, nigga, save your emotion. Descended of the slaves in the graves in the oceans. Mastermind that the waves is in motions. These niggas, they addicted to the folly, addicted to that molly. Making me a movie, them sticks made of holly. I'm Dr. Manhattan, sitting on top of Manhattan. When I get all 5 rings, snap my fingers and pop up on satin. Dressed in all black, yeah, drop top the Phantom. Blast.
TV.
To this day. Can't beat us, join us, please bring your coinage. We sink 3-pointers, money shots all net, all vets. Bums we not, jet skiing in them sunny spots. With women edible like gummy drops. Dummy stop, dummy stop. No weapon form can intercept a storm. Once my intellect is on, I'm projecting on magnetic fields and interact with blacks with athletic bills. I'm all about growth and development like residents of Ebbets Fields. Not to choose between woo and chew. We wanna line them colors up like a Rubik's Cube and fade to black, yeah, the truest hue. When you say the black man is God, who you alluded to? The usual, Clarence 13X, a worthy guess. The words expressed come from the word in flesh. Elijah M, the NOI versus Leviathan. Messiah sent from the heavenly branches. 7 P's from since G-Dub cut down the cherry tree. In the wilderness of North Mex, and we flossing death and forced aggression, or forced perception, forced protection, or forced confessions. It's all a lesson.
The sorcerers from Corsica, killer tonics, sticks and drums like the Philharmonic Orchestra. You niggas still playing harmonicas from officers, fabric softener. Jive turkeys popping 5 perkies, playing with keys, the Scotch stores type. For that soft white, we could've caught life, just being forthright. First class on my 4th flight, popping out like Fortnite. Every night we lit like Porsche lights. The meek shall inherit the earth, oh yeah, the scorched type. And these niggas, they some hoes in these streets. Me, I'm 10 toes in these streets. They lost their souls, niggas got holes in their feet. Shit, I'm just worried about the craft and how to perfect it. Not worried about the craft, yeah, that's out of perspectives. Focus on the chip like I'm Robert Kraft, and then how to protect it. It's the waves of the oceans. Get to the money, nigga, save your emotion. Descendant of the slaves in the graves in the oceans. Mastermind that the waves is in motions. These niggas, they addicted to the folly, addicted to that molly. Making me a movie, them sticks made of holly. I'm Dr. Manhattan, sitting on top of Manhattan. When I get all 5 rings, snap my fingers and pop up on satin. Dressed in all black, yeah, drop top the Phantom. Best.
Crumb TV.
Peace to the family. Peace to the family, peace to you and yours. Peace to the family, peace to you and yours. Welcome, 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 welcome to another episode of Melanin Tuesdays. You are now rocking with the best. Yes, this is your host for the day, Brother Red Pillar. All right. Shout out to everybody in the building. Happy Tuesday. I know that is not Monday. Pardon me. I was at an event and it really was out. It was like very far from where I'm my office and whatnot. And by the time I got back, it was way too late for me to be fully focused, you know what I mean, and give you and deliver what it is that I know that everybody deserved. And that was a coherent red pill. So here I am today, 7 days after the last Melanin Tuesday and whatnot. And yeah, we are here. I want to say shout out to everyone. I hope we are all here in the finest of health, both mentally, emotionally, physically, of course. You dig what I'm saying? So yes, we are here. We are here. I am so glad to be here with y'all today. We got a powerful episode. What I do want to first off say before we begin is happy birthday to hip hop, right? Today is the birthday of hip hop. Depending on, you know, they have like 2 days that they officially recognize the birthday as hip hop or hip hop's birthday. And today is one of those days, right? So I just want to definitely throw it out there that, this culture, although it is spoken down on by so many people, there's a love-hate relationship when it comes to what we know as the culture. It's understood, it's justified. I fully understand it. I am also one of the culture's greatest critiques. Um, I have so much to critique about the culture, but I'm also, at the end of the day, a connoisseur of the culture. And I'm also in the age range of the culture. We are diametrically in alignment, you know, based off of the year of my birth and the year of the birth of the culture. So it wouldn't be outside of me to say that the culture somewhat raised me. It wouldn't be outside of me to say that I love this culture. I know other cultures, but I would have it no other way. I accept this culture even with its flaws. I accept the culture even with its quote unquote, even though it's not quote unquote perfect. You know, point me to a culture that is perfect. Point me to a culture that has ever been perfect. Other than that, you niggas is living in an anime world. It reeks of religion. If you were to ask me, it's just showing that everybody is still Christians at the end of the day, because you live in this world of fantasy, and it's all good, but you should work for Marvel and run up a bag, or you should be an Imaginarium and whatnot, right? Because your imagination needs to be monetized. It needs to be put somewhere where it could prosper and whatnot, because nothing is perfect. Fertilizer grows flowers. Okay. Fertilizer grows flowers. We have to understand that. And at the end of the day, you know, this culture served me well. This culture taught me how to be a better person. I mean, I don't know if it taught me to be a better person. I grew up throughout the culture, but the culture, it exposed me to some of the most polarizing and quote unquote, you know, dope people. It exposed me to some very dope people. Now, one of the things that I could say that helped round me out as a well-rounded individual, one disclaimer, I'm not a perfect individual. I'm a person who is in constant elevation. I'm under construction all the time. Okay. But what helped round me out is that I was able to tap into another culture outside of hip hop, and that would be the culture of the elders, right? Like the baby boomers. So I identify my father, Dr. Sabi, Dr. Phil Valentine, Bobby Hemmett, C. Freeman L, Professor Smalls, Dr. Ben, Dr. Clark, Dr. Ivan Van Sertima, Dr. Africa, Baba Kalindi Ai, right? Sister Rosmariah Bay, Queen Afua, who I just saw this strong in at the Investfest with Supernova, right? And they wasn't scamming, because we're going to talk about that in a minute, how people are giving the Investfest a bad name, that they're putting bad energy on it, and it's warranted, right? Everybody is entitled to their opinion, but you smack the people who were there in the face when you do that. You throw dirt on us. You make us seem like we're flawed, like there's something weird with us because we decided to do business at a business event. So we're going to get into that. We're going to talk about that. But yeah, the master teachers who I was calling the names of master teachers, Sister Rosmariah Bay, Sister Burke, Sister Myra. That is not hip hop culture. We adapted their culture into hip hop. Farrakhan, Louis Farrakhan, C. Freemanel, Noble Drew Ali, Clarence 13X, right? Those are the fathers who helped birth the generation that they called hip hop, right? But those are not necessarily hip hop, right? They're not a part of the hip hop generation, but truth be told, that's the battery of the hip hop generation, because unbeknownst to people who grew up in hip hop and didn't grow to see hip hop grow, when you were born, hip hop was already going and whatnot. Unbeknownst to that generation, and probably even people in my generation, the earlier phases and the earlier stages, the brothers and sisters that participated were intellectuals. And I'm not talking about book smart. I am not talking about book smart. They had book smarts and whatnot, but they were intellectual. They were reared and they were raised by Malcolm X, right? This the generation that I'm talking about, my OGs and whatnot. They were raised by Malcolm X. They were raised by MLK. They were raised by Stokely Carmichael. They were raised by some very intelligent elders. Okay, and that helped them. That helped to mature them. That helped to refine them. So you know, by time they got to start expressing themselves through the medium of art, right? Because we could go and do a whole history about the beginning of hip hop, because this is the birthday of hip hop. Is literally 53 years old, okay, today. All right, according to the record keepers, it is literally 53 years old. And there could be so much critique about it, but it goes back to, like I say, with the Investfest. If you were not there, your speech, or if you were not there from the beginning, if you were not there to experience it, if you were not a part of the experience, right? Your critique is coming from a place of pure speculation from what you see on the internet. It is almost the same as when we climbed Stone Mountain and then they start putting videos out there and said, what? This is a cult. You had all of the Christians attacking us because they saw Bedell, they saw crowds of people, they saw sage burning, they saw people with ankhs and everything. Oh, this is a cult. They're doing some voodoo on a mountain. And it was like, you know, that was so disheartening, because it was like, damn, how dare y'all could look at this through the TV screen. I don't care, because looking at something through the TV screen, right, as we've known throughout the history of media, you don't know what you're looking at. You're just speculating. You have no idea what the energy is because energy doesn't necessarily transfer through a fucking screen. You feel me? Energy doesn't transfer through a screen. Have you ever met somebody in real life and it was either the opposite of what they were giving off on the internet, right? Or it was 10x, it was even more love, more energy, more authenticity, more true, more truth in that person's eyes. When you literally saw them in real life and you hugged them and they had energy on them. You know, I'm a hugger. Um, and that's not, you know, I'm a hugger, and that goes against what everybody told me not to do. Because people be like, do not be hugging people, don't hug people, you know, don't give people fives, don't even let them touch you and whatnot, because people is out here destiny swapping, and there's a big energy exchange, right? Because the first day of the Investfest, which was the Friday, the minute I walked in the house, I mean, it couldn't be but 5 minutes after I walked in the house, I jumped right into bed. I didn't even take a shower. I got right into bed. I had to go to sleep because the energy exchange was just too much for me. It was a lot of energy being exchanged. A lot. There was a lot of hugging. There was a lot of daps. There was a lot of picture taking. It was just a lot because, you know, the energy was high and whatnot. And it's all good. I like energy. I'm gonna hug you. Fuck that. You know what I'm saying? If your energy is bad and whatnot, I know how to get it off me. I'll roll around in my backyard if need be. But I like to embrace. I like to talk. I like to conversate. I like to hug. I like to give fives. I like to give daps. I'm just that type of person where I'm a people person and I get into this shit. You feel me? Because I really got a love for my people until they show me otherwise. Until the red flags start going off. But off the rip, everybody comes with a clean slate with me. I am a public servant. This is what I signed up for. You understand? I didn't sign up to be antisocial. I didn't sign up to be weird. I didn't sign up to talk crazy about the people who who I'm in front. I've given my life. I've given my life. I've given my entire. I've given. This is my relationship. You understand? This shit has been my relationship for damn near 20 years. I love this shit more than I loved so many other things, bro. You know what I'm talking about? So when I get into something, I get into it. I'm a Scorpio, so we go hard with our shit. And we big on loyalty. And sometimes I feel like people are being disloyal to my experience. And I really don't appreciate that. But it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm a loyalist. And I would never step on nobody's experience, especially if I'm not there to experience something with somebody. I went live on my channel every day so people could literally see what I was seeing. I was so elated by what I was seeing. I was so enthusiastic about what I was experiencing that I was like, you know what? I want to share this with the family. Don't ask me about young Pharoah and them fucking fingernails, bro. Don't ask me about young Pharoah and the fingernails. You know what that is. I'm not gonna get on here and talk about young Pharoah's fingernails, bro. That's not what I'm here for. There's 1,000 videos on YouTube talking about young Pharoah and his fingernails. And then look at this though. Before young Pharoah was showing off his fingernails, nobody on YouTube was really talking about him. But now there's 100 videos on my timeline where everybody's talking about his fucking fingernails. So that just goes to show you we're in the attention economy. It doesn't matter what you do. Controversy sells. Attention sells. You understand? Attention will sell. Is going to have people worrying about you, talking about you. That nigga's on your mind. I don't want him on my mind. I tapped into a little bit of what I saw, And then I heard some shit too with a European white girl sounding female who said that they were together, and then she implied that he was doing some strange stuff with children, and I turned it off. But it goes back to the video that I did with Brother Rich. It's called Spiritual Psychosis. It's called Spiritual Psychosis. And then and then you know, spiritual psychosis, it spreads across the border thickly, right? So I'm not gonna give the negative too much attention. It's a lot of negative shit going on right now. Let's just put this out there. And for the person that put the post up, pardon me. I just got beside myself. I don't mean to bark and whatnot. Pardon me. You have every right whatsoever to ask us about what's going on in the headlines. You have every right to be like, yo, what's up? Well, what's da 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 da? You feel me? And you know, I will honor that because this is Melanin Tuesdays, and we talk about the news topics, and we deal with shit, right? So let's deal with it. Let's deal with it. Let's get it out the way. All right, boom. Spiritual psychosis. I am hurt, bro. I am hurt, and you probably heard that in my reaction. It hurts me to see what this brother's going through, bro. I'm distraught seeing this young man going through what he's going through, bro. I don't wish that on him. There's a few other brothers that I seen going through mental health crises over the past year or two. I saw one of them at the Investfest, and he looks like he's going through his storm and whatnot, and he was looking a lot better. But he had disappeared from the internet and whatnot. And I started feeling worried and whatnot, because when we can't put eyes on you, we don't know what's going on. We don't know if you got abducted or nothing. You know what I mean? And when I saw one of my bros, I gave him the biggest hug. You feel me? And I told him that I love you, bro, because what was the other scenario that could have happened? I could have been hugging his corpse. Feel me? In a fucking box, stiff, talking about this don't look like him. That's the other side of this shit right here. So this is not a joke, y'all. Psychic attack. I've been getting psychically attacked for damn near 10 years out here, bro. I'm talking about big time attacks. Big time. This shit is real. Y'all have no idea. Rumors, people putting rumors on you. People stabbing you in your back. People having hate campaigns, email hate campaigns on you. Stalkers. Right? People that stand next to you in these videos and whatnot. People who you put on, who you fell out with because they just weird and shit. Hating on you from the sidelines. Dead people hating on you. You feel me? All type of shit be going on. I had to somebody in Atlanta got done wrong in the spiritual community, and I spoke up for them, and I got attacked spiritually. Them niggas went after me. All type of shit. Dr. Sabi died. People that was hating on Sabi started throwing shit at our people. What are we talking about? Do y'all not know that this shit is a battlefield? Do y'all not know that this shit is real? But then when they see people fall down, and when they see people begin to falter and whatnot, they start making fun of them. Now, I could go on. I could get in my scorpion bag and say, yo, young Pharoah was out here disrespecting the elders, and he was talking crazy and whatnot. He even disrespected me and back in 2017 when we had a fallout and whatnot. What the fuck? No, I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna go there. Remember, Saturn is in retrograde. I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna go there. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna transmute the energy. I might put it in my art. I might put it in some music. I might put it in some fucking AI. You know what I mean? I might draw a picture and whatnot. You know what I'm talking about? I'm not gonna go lower than how people go low. It's not what I'm about to do. You feel me? But I'm letting you know that it's real out here. And we are just watching a car crash in real time and whatnot. We are literally watching. So I don't want to do bottlenecking, and I'm not going to step on that young man. I'm going to pray for him. I'm going to say that I wish him the best. I'm going to pray for his mentality and his mentals to get back, because he was a dangerous teacher. He was a dangerous teacher. I might not have agreed with everything that he was teaching. I might not have been the biggest fan of the teachings and whatnot. I might not have been his biggest cheerleader based off of the route that I seen him going. But when he first came out, y'all could go on YouTube and y'all see me bigging him up. I was big bro. I was there. I was coaching him, showing him what to do, what not to do. I was in his ear and I was giving him the right information. And he was listening too. That's a good brother. You feel me? And he is on his hero's journey. You dig? He's on his hero's journey. He's on his hero's journey. And wherever that hero's journey is going to take him, then it's just going to have to take him. I pray that it will turn around. But when your mental is gone, right? Going back to what this is my disclaimer. All right, let's just say we're going to use young Pharaoh, right, as a lesson. Not as a punching bag, as a lesson. So we have Rashad Jamal, we got Nature Boy, right? Now we got Young Pharaoh coming up, right? And then we got Michael Nowak, right? We could talk about spiritual possessions. We could talk about spiritual deities. We could talk about spiritual psychoses and whatnot. We could talk about entity possession. You feel me? We could talk about all of that, right? Somebody say, "What you mean he's gone?" Right? So, and for somebody asking a question, I would have to answer, because I don't want to be on here speculating. I don't want to think. I want to be on here act like everybody knows what's going on. The brother he's on the internet wearing um fingernails, press on nails, right? Is that what it's called? And he's acting very erratic. Okay. And it has raised many alarms in this community. And, people are saying that he is, that they got him. Whatever they is, they're saying that they got him, that he's been compromised and whatnot. Right. Um, and they're also saying that he's possessed by the cat spirit. And the cat spirit, right? The cat spirit was something that I believe Eligio had, right? And we saw Eligio break down and begin to have what would be called mental health crises, right? Now, I think everybody has a little bit of mental health. Everybody's touched a little bit, but there's levels to being touched, right? There's levels to, psychosis and what they will call neurosis, right? Some people have a slight neurosis. Some people are having extreme neurosis. Okay. I just feel that at this point, maybe he may be going through an extreme neurosis, right? But for anybody asking what's going on with him, he's a little thrown off right now. He's a little thrown off. Okay. Um, I am not a proponent for men wearing claws. I'm not a proponent, but it's not just the fingernails, it's the conversation that's coming with it, right? So that's what I'm reacting to, for anybody that wanted to know what's going on and whatnot. That's what I am reacting to. It's literally all over the internet. So you could just I don't know how this algorithm is on YouTube, no, on IG, but the new algorithm, the minute that you watch a video or the minute that you like a video, it's going to flood your timeline with either the same video or videos that are from that account or that person or that influencer and whatnot. But yeah, they flood in my timeline. I'm gonna just show the video. Fuck it, we in it. You know what I'm saying? We're in the midst of it all. I kind of did not want to deal with it, But based off of how I'm talking about it right now, I'm proud of myself. You know what I'm saying?
Peace, family. It's your boy Young Pharoah, aka Lil Feed, the Holy Ghost, and this is serious. Seriously, I'm out at Chipotle right now with them stingers on. Swag, brother. It is what it is. I'm in Detroit. What's up? I'm getting ready to go back.
So he's in Detroit, right? The all black city, chocolate city, right? The home of real niggas. And he's at Chipotle with the tiger claws.
To the crib, stream on Star Wars Battlefront 2. If you stream on Star Wars Battlefront 2, pop on, and pop off. Because that's what's about to happen. And with that being said, I see y'all there. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. It's the Holy Ghost.
Right? I shout out to Nandi's Cafe. Shout out to New Era and all of that. Yeah, so that's currently what's going on in in this community, and that's what's making those headlines and whatnot. You know, so of course, this happens every quarter. The backlash, it turns into, oh, the conscious community, look at where they, you know what I mean? All of that. It looks ritualistic. Yes, it looks like a humiliation ritual. Um, it definitely looks like the young brother is going through a psychosis, a spiritual psychosis right now. You know, for those who look for patterns, once again, there's a pattern. All right. There's a pattern. If you out there and you decide you want to do don't take your shirt off. And I'm not saying that everybody that takes their shirt off has the same fate and whatnot, but don't be the topless teacher, because it just, I don't know what it is about the topless teaching and whatnot, but it's you I don't know. Just keep your shirt on, my G. You know what I'm saying? That might help you and whatnot. This is my disclaimer moving forward, and we're gonna switch the topic in a minute and whatnot. We're gonna switch the topic and get into something else, because once again, I don't want to revel in nobody's downfall. But I'm pleading to my community right now. I'm pleading to my community. And I know that there's people out there that don't care, and they relish in the downfall of people who they thought were greater than them. That's the thing. You got to check yourself sometimes. You can't see nobody. You can't live vicariously through no one. You can't have a parasocial relationship on the internet with people that you don't know. And you can't look at nobody like they're bigger than you, because when they eventually fall and whatnot, that all that love turns into hate, right? All of that love turns into hate. So, what I do is I observe people. I admire some people, but I'm not living vicariously. I'm not doing no type of parasocial shit. I'm not getting caught up in nobody's program. You feel me? Because I know that everybody is working through their own quote unquote flaws. Everybody is healing in real time. Literally, these teachers will tell you what the problem is if you listen close enough. They'll explain to you where the trauma is coming from. They'll explain to you what the childhood was like. Like when I was watching the Nature Boy documentary on YouTube, this 50-part series, all it took was episode number 1. That was all it took. Once I heard what I heard about his childhood, how his childhood was set up, that's all it took. I was like, oh, I get it. I understand, because I was outside as a child. I was with the kids that was going to Spofford. I was with the kids that was in foster. I was with the kids whose mothers had these addictions. I was with the kids who didn't have the parent. I understand through case studies. I don't have to go to 8 years in school to understand what I see. I don't have to get a master's degree. We understood this shit just being outside. Just being outside, bro. You know what I'm saying? In New York City in the 90s and whatnot, in the late 80s, you understood what the hell was going on. And the way this shit is set up, the young pharaohs of the world, his parents are my age. His parents are my age. The sister, the twin, right? And she, I think we have it on tape, right? The girl who sent Nature Boy to jail, she's a twin, right? Shout out to her and her twin. Her twin came up to me at the block party on Saturday where we performed Theta Waves. Shout out to everybody that was on that live and check that out. But we had something called Welcome to Atlantis with Source Guard. The twin came up to me and said, "My mother went to school with you." That's just to give you some context as to what's going on in this community. Now we're at the phase where before I used to see little kids coming up to my table, or we would go to the lecture and it would be like people my age, and then they'll have their children with them, and their children was little. You feel me? But now, right? Fast forward, they have grown ass children. The children are not children no more. They're grown. They might even have children, and they're participating in this community. You feel me? It's a dope thing and whatnot, just to see how fast everybody's growing up. But she was like, "Yo, my mom's went to school with y'all." I said, "Damn, let me go sit down for a minute." That was like that was an eye opener. You know what I'm talking about? Like, Lord, we've been out, yeah. So a lot of the young kids that are spazzing, a lot of the youth that are part of that youth movement, the youth conscious, they call them like the TikTok generation. Some of their parents is my age, so I already know what's going on because I know what my generation went through. I know what my generation has gone. I know the challenges that my generation. I know that my generation is going through their fourth childhood. I know that my generation was traumatized. I know that my generation has PTSD. I know that my generation were experimenting with all type of chemicals and stuff like that at a very young age. I know that there's a lot going on. So I'm like, I'm able to make an assessment. Like, yeah, this is kind. It has layers to it. It has layers to it. But disclaimer: I wish the brother all of the help that he can receive. Miracles do happen. Nobody is completely finished off until they finished off. I wish the brother comes across somebody who can take whatever entities that he may, because that's entity possession that we're looking at. Let's be clear about that, right? I just want to be clear as to what I think that I'm looking at. I'm looking at entity possession.
Peace, family. It's your boy, Young Pharoah, Little Feet, the Holy Ghost.
Right. Somebody said that he was drugged and whatnot, and that could be the case. Oh, here's my disclaimer, and I forgot. Yeah, so here's my disclaimer, right? I've been a proponent of healing through natural means. Let's be clear. I've been a proponent of healing through natural means. And what does that translate to? That translates to plant-based healing, right? Something that I used to speak very highly on around 2019, 2020, things like that. And that was basically the boomies and whatnot, but I was responsible, right? I was responsible. Okay. And in that responsibility, I was telling people who were listening to me, I was like, listen, by following what I'm doing, it's not going to make you like, it's not going to turn you into me. And I don't know what that even means, right? Because people will follow your lead thinking that that is going to quote unquote, like that's going to turn them magically into a version of you or something. I just shared what I was doing to help me and my quote unquote my inner travels. Cause I do meditations and everything, but I'm not the best meditator. You feel me? My whole thing is I just want to go within and fix things from within rather than project outwards. So when Dr. Sabi in 2003, he passed me a Ziploc full of I think it was golden teachers at that point. And that was one of my introductions to plant-based healing. And it took me damn near 15 years to do it again. right? And I say that, and my disclaimer is to everybody that you have to be mindful about what it is that you're doing when you tapping into either plant-based medicines or worse, the chemical-based medicines. Okay? Because sometimes people are mixing things up and you're not realizing that that was made in a lab. It's not real. That's synthetic. You're dealing with, you know what I'm saying? That's not real. So you're putting things in your body that's made in the lab and whatnot. LSD and all of that, that's not real. And you could wind up compromising your quote unquote psychic ability. You could compromise your mentality. You feel me? You could compromise your quote unquote your consciousness. Somebody said, is that a clone of Pharaoh? Um, the spirit, when I look at him, right? I've literally built with the young God on multiple occasions. You feel me? Like I've looked at him in his eyes and whatnot. So when I look at him, even though he may be in this state, I still see that person. You understand? I still see that person. So I don't necessarily know if the body is cloned. But think about it, y'all. I think that they've upgraded the clone technology to whereas we were grown up on the Hollywood version of cloning where they got to clone the whole body. What if they're cloning the brain, or what if they're cloning the quote unquote psychic, the psyche? Or what if they are utilizing something like a Neuralink, or they're putting a chip where they're putting a new psyche on top of the psyche, like they're hacking the brain, MK Ultra type shit through what they would call trauma, so they could traumatize you to a degree to where they could break you, or they create alters of you where we get alter egos and whatnot, and then when that alter ego comes online, they could lock that alter ego in, and then your original self is like in a jar somewhere or in a box in a compartment somewhere inside of your brain, somewhere inside of the mind, somewhere inside of the conscious. Yeah, you might be trapped in the spirit realm. You might be trapped on the other side, and then this host takes over, and that is what we may be seeing outside of us trying to wrap our minds around of them cloning a whole body. No, no, no. That's they're capturing the mind. You know. And I'm disheartened by what I see. You feel me? I don't relish in his downfall. You feel me? I'm not gonna be one of those. My heart is not heavy like that. And he went after some people. I remember being on a trip. We were in the Virgin Islands, and he was going after Rizza Islam and Ben X, and he had my brother stressed out, bro. They was trying to enjoy themselves. We was in paradise. And he had these brothers stressed the F out. They was, man, they was at war, going to war online with the bro. You know what I mean? Over things that he may have said about the most honorable Elijah Muhammad or something. I think it was Fard and whatnot. But yeah, you know, just this is the lesson that I will walk away from. And it's for everybody out there. Please have somebody that you are close with who can literally be like the spotter in the gym for you. You need a spotter in consciousness. Literally, this is you are in the gym. But instead of lifting weights that are physically heavy, you're lifting mental weights that are spiritually heavy. You're in the gym and you are facing resistance. The only way that you're going to get stronger is by pushing that resistance off of you. You understand what I'm saying? You need a conscious coat puller. Thank you, Carol. You need a conscious coat puller. You need a spotter. You need somebody that's not compromised, and you don't need yes men around you. You need somebody who could literally take your temperature and let you, and, make you aware as to when you're slipping mentally. because so many of us could start losing it, and nobody around us loves us enough to help us and to stop us and to quote unquote pull the emergency brake before it is too late. You know what I'm saying? We need advocates. Yes. That is a whole entire industry that could be born right now of a group of people in our community that are spiritually sound. Please do not throw rocks at us. Please do not talk crazy about us. Please do not ridicule us. Don't make us the butt of the jokes and whatnot. Don't do that. Don't do that. Have some compassion. Have some empathy. Standing on these stages in front of millions of people and whatnot, and being the quote unquote, being the sacrificial lamb, y'all. That's not an easy task. And so many people are envious of that position and whatnot. And because of the vicariousness and the parasocialness and whatnot, so many people want to stand in your place. They want to stand in your shoes, that they would rather see you hanging from a tree than to stand next to you or wait their turn to get on that stage and whatnot. They low key want to see you gone. They low key want to see you fall. They low key want to see you falter. They low key want to see you brought that back down to this atmosphere, because in their minds, you're elevated above them somehow, and and they just have to bring you down. And it's like, bro, what are the people? What are they even doing this for? Cause it don't happen to me like that. Thank God. Like I'm not out here trauma bonding and whatnot. I live a pretty good existence and whatnot, and I don't have all of those things that happen to me. But I do have two eyes and whatnot, and I am observant. And I will say this: some people bring things on themselves. So we are in Saturn retrograde, and we do have to ask the question: is this karma? Saturn is in retrograde. That's the father and whatnot. Is Blue my spotter? Yes. Yes. And I'm his spotter. You know? I'm his spotter. He has a beautiful wife who cares for him. I know that she cares for him. You feel me? And Blue Dream is conscious. Blue Dream is from Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? So she has that spirit, and I know that she would easily pull his coat, and she would easily press his button if need be. You feel me? But we need more than just one person. Some people have their children as spotters and whatnot. The child sees you in a way that you don't see yourself, and they'll be like, "Yo, something is off," and they could bring you back down to earth. They could wake you up. They could speak to the quote unquote, when they have that thing about the gods that are asleep, right? When they talk about the gods that are asleep, right? Remember the TV show The Watchmen, right? That came on HBO and whatnot. And at the end of Watchmen, it showed that Dr. Manhattan was really a black man named Calvin, right? But Calvin got put to sleep. All that was showing you in that TV show was the Masonic ritual of what is it, Hiram Abiff, right? The god that got knocked over the head, and they're asleep and they think that they're awake. They say that we are quote unquote in shallow graves, all of us, and we're not necessarily awake. We think that we're awake, but we're really just asleep. You know, we're really just asleep. We are gods in a sleeping state. That's why when you do very strong plant-based medicines, you'll have a feeling as being awake, and the shit is scary as fuck because you've never been awake before. You've never been in a waking state with your eyes open. You've been in a waking state with your eyes closed when you go to dream and whatnot. But on the bufu, right, or on like 10 grams and whatnot, your ass is gonna wake up in your awakened state. And in that awakened state, reality as you know it now in this 2D dimension, and that's why we say that this is somewhat of a prison planet, because the second dimension, there's 7 dimensions. The second dimension, this is so low frequency, this is so dense, this is so boring. Eat, sleep, defecate, fornicate, die. There's not really much to do here. In other dimensions, they're flying, they're going through shit, they're thinking things, they're telekinetic. You know what I'm saying? They're teleporting and whatnot. I mean, it is fucking lit, my geniuses. It's a lot going on. And your ass could get spooked out. Sister Aikida, can you let's please in the chat. You could get spooked out. You could lose it because you are going to be exposed to a waking state that you are not used to. That's why there's a theory that this is literally a quote unquote sleeping state that we're in. We're in a sleeping state. We're in somewhat of a stupor. You feel me? We're somewhat in a stupor. That's why the disclaimer that I said earlier stands, where I'm like, yo, if you're going to go on these journeys, you got to have a spotter. You got to have somebody, like it was, but before this became recreational, you couldn't even do these type of things without having a quote unquote shaman or somebody who was going to babysit, or, you know, I don't know what they call it. It's like a babysitter, right? By your side. And then it kind of became a recreational type of thing where people was like, nah, I got this. I'm going to handle this on my own and whatnot. But it's like, if you go through something, if you go through an episode and whatnot, if you hit one of those, you know, if you go on, you need somebody there. You need somebody there. You know, you're going to need somebody there that's going to be able to hold you down and help bring you back. But then outside of that, right, that's when you're dealing with the quote unquote plant-based medicines, or when you're dealing with some type of, you know, when you're defocalized. I'm bringing it back to just overall having somebody that will check on you, that knows who you are and your quote unquote your authentic self, right? Because some people are being possessed and whatnot, and you have to face their inauthentic self, right? Or a version of them, an alter ego of them, and that's nothing wrong with that. I know people with 20 personalities, and I know about 18 of their personalities, and we all get along. You know, no judgment. No judgment. But some of us think we have friends, and that's not your friend. You feel me? That's not your friend. Bufu is considered DMT. The Bufu was just a toe venom, 5-MeO DMT is what it's called, 5-MeO DMT. So it's like, yo, we need groups of people who are not going to judge us. Your family members, if they're not on the frequency that you're on, 9 times out of 10, they don't understand what you on. They don't understand. They don't understand what they low key want the version of you before you took the red pill. So in their minds, and this is not all of them, please, I'm not being a generalizer. I don't want to generalize. However, I have been exposed to the situation on multiple occasions. And I would say, if you were to ask a family member, would they prefer the version of you now, or would they prefer the version of you that was quote unquote sleeping in a shallow grave, the Hiram Abiff version of you, the sleeping goddess, they would probably prefer that because they're themselves asleep and it's all good. It's like, why would I want, if you're in a house full of sleeping people, why would I want somebody walking around and roaming while we're asleep? You're going to interrupt the sleepers and whatnot. You're going to interrupt the sleeper cells. Henceforth, why you're getting pushback, why you're getting hated on, and why you're getting why they're trying to bang on you inside of households, inside of workplaces where everybody is asleep. You're walking around, moving shit around, doing things and whatnot, making smoothies and doing things. You're doing meditation. You're playing. You're hitting the gong and whatnot. You're hitting the fucking singing bowls. You know what I'm talking about? You're listening to the binaural beats. You're talking ashe, 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 ashe. You're doing loud prayers. You're affirming yourself in the mirror, and they are asleep, snoring like bears. You're interrupting that sleep. So maybe you have to remove yourself from the house where everybody's asleep and let them sleep. And you can't rely on those that are asleep to keep an eye on you and to be able to tell you when things are going array and raw and what, because they don't even know what they're looking at. They might not be aware of what they're looking at. So you got to have somebody that's more unbiased. You got to have somebody on the team that's a little more unbiased. You feel me? I would even suggest somebody that you're not romantically involved with. You dig? I would suggest somebody that you're not romantically involved with, only because there's strings attached to that right there. I would say choose somebody that just has a love for you. If you haven't found them, manifest them. What I mean by that is meditate on it so heavy. See yourself with said person. It's not a romantic thing, right? And you'll begin to magnetize. You'll draw that energy, and that person will appear and whatnot. But don't make it a romantic thing. I promise you. Do not cross that line. Utilize, even if there's an attraction, utilize the energy and the magnetism of that attraction to break some spells and whatnot. But keep it platonic. You know? And yes, only do boomies around people that you trust. I promise you, man. You said a rabbi or a pastor? No. Only do please only because you're when you do that, a person, if you let's say that you go on a trip and whatnot, and you're around a person that doesn't really have your best interests at hand, that person could literally dump the most negative, demonic, their parasites could jump in you because you're open. Remember, you open up, right? You're vulnerable, right? Your auric field is completely, it's almost like babies when they're born and the crown is open and whatnot. So they're like, yo, don't talk crazy over my baby's head, let alone don't ever touch my baby's crown, the ori and whatnot. But don't be talking gossip, and don't be talking isfit, you feel me? And don't be talking crazy, right, around the baby's crown. So when you tap in, it's almost like that crown opens up, your auric field somewhat opens and whatnot. And that's why I am vehemently opposed to you being on your phone or you being on a laptop, a tab, anything electronic when you're on that mission is the worst thing that you could do. Don't do it. Don't do it. Not the Black Mirror, because shit jumping through the Black Mirror and it can affect you. Don't do it. I promise you. Stay away from electronics when you're going through them things. The best place that you could be is in nature or an all black triple dark room. Yaki Awaken has something called a sensory tank. When he was one of the speakers at the Investfest, and Yaki had probably a $20,000 booth because I know the prices, right? And he brought a sensory tank up in that bitch. I didn't get an opportunity to get in it because he had a line. Every time I came over there was a long line waiting to get into it. And I didn't want to, just skip the line and jump in it and whatnot. But I'm going to go to St. Louis and I'm going to experience the grand opening of his facility and whatnot. I have very fond respect for Brother Yaki Awaken. It's always been very whenever we've made our acquaintance from he's always the same person, you know what I'm saying? It's always been love and whatnot. I get great energy. And his team, he has one of the best teams in the game. That's another thing. And that goes back to what I was saying a minute ago. You should be, especially if you a business or a brand and you on the front lines, you need a team. Start working on that. If you're in this path right here and you're on your journey and whatnot, you could utilize a team. You're a whole brand, especially if you out here promoting shit and you wearing the clothes and you got the fit on. You rep it. You might not realize it, but you're a brand. You are a brand, and you need a team. You need some people around you that are going to do the heavy lifting for you so everything don't fall on your shoulders and you don't have a spiritual breakdown. Because when we have spiritual breakdowns, then we get thrown out there and the family gets to throw rocks at us. They get to throw arrows at us. They get to judge us. They get to spit on us. They get to ridicule us. They get to drag us through the mud. They get to step on us. They get to do all of the things that you see them doing to the young brother that's having a spiritual mental breakdown right now. And it's not just YP. There's a few other people having breakdowns. Okay. So tribe, that's the word that I would use. Tribe. Instead of team, tribe. Tribe. But please learn to vet your tribe. Don't bring nobody around you that's jealous of you, that's envious of you, that low-key hate your guts and whatnot, and they just trying to sabotage you so they could get your place. And while we on the case of how people are bringing demonic entities and how people are bringing bad juju on them and how people are welcoming these quote unquote entities and this negative spirit and whatnot, let's get to the apparel, what they call the wardrobe. The key word in wardrobe is war. The key word in wardrobe is war. People are out here putting anything on their body and whatnot. People are out here being billboards for messages and brands and logos and motifs and whatnot. And they don't even know what some of that stuff even means. But here it is. They're out here running around, pushing that shit, pushing this, wearing that shit, wearing these, the iconography of Satanists and things of that nature, putting children in this type shit. You feel me? Crazy.
Children wear these t-shirts because if you didn't know this is a white supremacist dog whistle. This one is too. And I don't want to hear that Gene Simmons was a Jewish man bullshit. I don't give a damn. This is a white supremacist dog whistle. They have made it crystal clear, and the FBI and the CIA, that they use these signals for their white supremacist dog whistles. AC/DC Power Up Tour, SS, not C. White supremacists use 2 C's. It is most often representative of the initials Aryan Circle, AC, DC. It's a violent race-based prison gang. It's well known. If you grew up around white people, especially those that like to hang around other white supremacists, which is most of them, by the way, then you know these things. You see them throwing this up. This is white power, WP. Any one of these 3 things is a white supremacist dog whistle. That mask, that cog, or that radiation symbol. AC. It's right there in your face. Please don't put this on your black children or your own black bodies. Nothing about this is cool or retro.
There's some of the shit that need to be boycotted, like Urban Outfitters and these quote unquote stores in the mall are selling bullshit like this, right? This is what they're peddling and this is what they're pushing, which goes back into the conversation that we was having about this Investfest. You feel me? And I'm gonna stand on it. Like the Investfest if you were not there, it's gonna be very easy to talk crazy about it. But if you wasn't there and you talking about it, I'm like, where do they do that at? Like, where do they do that at? How, Sway? Where does that happen? Where does that happen? That's like me talking about game 5 and I wasn't there. Like, you don't even know what it was. You wasn't in the building. How the hell could you talk about a building that you wasn't inside of? That don't make no sense. That don't make no sense. So we need marketplaces. We need marketplaces. We need places where we don't need yo, just catch me on the internet and all. No, nigga. That internet shit ain't it. We need real life stuff. We need to be around people in real life. We need to see business owners and shake their hands and look at them in their eyes and whatnot. We need that. We need to see that. We need to know, we need to outwardly be like, yo, we boycotting all of these businesses, but we need somewhere to send our people. And this strong end, right? Let me just show you a little clip real quick. Now, here we have wax figures, right? Remember the wax figures from 40, they have a wax figure museum on 42nd Street, Times Square, New York City, right? And they be having like The Rock, you know, and other people and whatnot. And, you know, it is what it is. But here you have it. They went and started, they go supernova. They went and created a wax museum, right? For our people. Right? That's Julian right there. That's Nature Jab. That's one of the most important people, right? That's this brother is one of the most important melanated quote unquote men, right? In our community right now. Because this is the brother that discovered the whole thing about free energy. He didn't discover it. It's already been discovered, mind you. Yeah, it's already been discovered. I'm probably sure of that. But he's become the face of it, right? With his most current take on it and whatnot. And he needs to be protected by any and all means, only because the people who are in his field that are doing the things that he's doing, they are enemy number one to some of the most powerful and gangster organizations on this planet. F the mafia and the mob. You want to talk about big pharma? You want to talk about big energy? No, ladies and no, these people, unlimited resources, and they will do everything and anything to you to stop you from upending their market share and whatnot. So this man right here is treading on, you know, he's basically skating on thin ice when it comes to, he needs to be heavily protected at all times. I don't hear the call being loud enough for his protection. I don't hear a loud enough call for that man's protection. They're just like letting him wing this shit. Like, yeah, just let him wing it. He'll be all right. He needs protection. He needs protection. He needs to be covered at all times. And he don't need to be paying no fucking body for protection either. This needs to be pro bono. Long ass run that, but I'm not. You feel me? I met the brother and we built and everything. Very pure heart, you know what I'm saying? Very pure heart. He's under 30 years old. He's not one of those people that were like, you know, he doesn't love the camera like that. He's not here for the camera. However, I'm sure that he's enjoying all of the love that he's getting because what? Our people, us, melanated people, our love is unparalleled. When you're in the epicenter, when you're in the epoch, when you're in the quote unquote, when you are because the opposite is is the same as well. When you getting washed, when our people is after you, when you're getting canceled, yeah, it will feel like your whole world is coming to an end. It'll feel like your plane is crashing and whatnot. But when our community loves on you, when you are beloved, when you are loved by Black people, there's no love on the planet that compares to that. And I'm not taking nothing away from nobody else. I'm not taking away nothing from nobody else. But the community loving on you will keep you vibrant, healthy, young, happy, and it will help lighten up your heart. Everything else will do the opposite. So this man needs to be protected.
What about if I'm a wax statue, okay? How long can I pretend to be a wax statue before people realize that I'm not a wax statue? So we're about to do a little mannequin challenge to see what happens, all right? So let's see, hey, come here.
So they didn't make a wax statue of him. He just pretended to be a wax statue. But this is the brother who's been making wax statues out of some very quote unquote famous people and whatnot. There goes Queen of Four. I don't think she was fooled by it. They got Glorilla, they got Takeoff.
Come on in. You want to touch it? See, come on. See how it feels. It looks more real. It'll look realer once I add the gloss.
So I would love to see these wax figures in the museum. You feel me? I would love to see these wax. I would love to see wax figures of the master teachers, right? I would love to see a whole museum of the master teachers, the ones who are unsung, right? I would love to see that. That would be like the best thing that we could do. That would be our love letter to our pantheon of the great ones, the master teachers. You feel me? That would be dope. But I'll be well wishing. I'll be wishing on a star. You know what I'm talking about? That's just me.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl Yes here at Investfest 2026 with over 30,000 attendees, visionaries, entrepreneurs, and global thinkers. I can't wait to see who I'm supposed to meet. Let's go.
So let's have this Investfest conversation, right? Now, there were two aspects to invest. Oh shit, is that Dika? Yo, this thing was so big that I'm seeing people on my timeline that I was like, you was there? I had no idea that you, like, it was so many people. It was so big. And like I said, I was there for 3 days and I didn't even see everything. I wasn't even there. I wasn't there to see everything. Like I literally did not see everything in 3 days time. That's why when people be like, yo, when you go to Disneyland, you got to go to more than 1 day because you won't see everything. I get it now. I didn't understand, but I get it now because I ain't never been there, but I know what they mean by that now. Like this thing could basically, it's so huge that you literally could be in the same building as somebody that you've been looking for your whole life and still can't find them. So let me get into my disclaimer bag, right? All right, boom. I am a heavy critic of EYL. Anybody that's on this show, you guys know that when I speak about EYL, I'm a critic more so than a supporter. I have critiques, right? And it's right. I feel that I earned that. I feel that I have the right to critique. I feel that, but my critiques are not done in no type of malice though. My critiques are just done and based off of the observations of what I've seen and what I've experienced. I've been at the Investfest, I would say maybe 4 years in a row. And only of those 4 years, out of those 2 years, I've been a vendor. Somebody said, earn your critiques. So out of those years, I've been a vendor and whatnot, right? And I come from 125th Street from standing behind a table, ladies and gentlemen. And I remember when I started out, it was a very lonely road. And I'll be talking to y'all about my trauma and whatnot. Hopefully not to trauma bond and not to traumatize nobody. But I'm just very transparent as to what some of my struggles are and were, and some of the things that I experienced, because I want people to know these things. Going into business and whatnot, I need you to know that this is not going to be quote unquote a walk in the park. This is not going to be a walk in the park. This is not going to be the easiest experience of your life and whatnot. This is not going to be quote unquote, you're not going to be able to sleep through this thing. This is going to take a lot of work. In 2005, it was about 50 to 75 times more difficult than what it is today, because we didn't have the internet telling us what to do. We didn't have AI. We didn't have quote unquote budgets like that. We didn't have, I had Square and PayPal and other people who they giving me money back in the days. We didn't have none of that when I first started out. I got a loan from Black Dot to start my clothing line. I went local. You feel me? I went local. I didn't go, I wasn't able to go to the bank and get a loan. I got it from my team. I got it from the big homie. We didn't have ad money like that. We didn't know about ad campaigns. We didn't have global audiences. Things changed over the years. So now, as an early entrepreneur, I didn't even know how to spell entrepreneurship when I was an entrepreneur when I started out. But when I started Kings County Clothing, and I was behind the table on 125th Street, and I was basically paying my rent, paying my bills, raising my children. I sent my child through private school. Just being outside, like, you know what I mean? I sent my child through private school. Like, I've been able to take care of things. But it was not easy. I earned every single dollar. They made me work for that shit. Nobody gave me nothing. I bust my ass, bro. And now I have multiple businesses and whatnot. But what does that mean? If you a serial entrepreneur, then you serially busting your ass. I gotta bust my ASS on everything. Nothing is coming easy and whatnot. And that's just what creates my character. That just defines me as a, you know what I mean? It's the pressure. It's similar to being in a gym and whatnot. It's that resistance. It's that pressure that just makes me a stronger individual every single time. I tell people I might miss a gym. I might skip the leg day and whatnot. I might miss a day at the gym. But please believe me, nigga, I wake up with the motherfucking weights on my chest. I wake up pushing pressure every day. I wake up pushing the pressure every day. Trust me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm in the gym constantly. You know what I'm talking about? And I'm sure that many of us can relate. That's why we are A alike, B alike, who see alike. You feel me? I would never want to be anywhere else but where I am right now. And I be sharing things with people because I'm like, look, shit is complex. It's not just black and white. You can't just look at what somebody is doing and automatically see it from a black and white perspective. When I signed up to go to Investfest, and remember, we signed up and bought 5 booths, right? 5 booths. I was like, I want to be with my team. I want to be with my peoples. I want to have an experience. Last year, we got a booth for $10,000, a big ass booth. And inside of that booth, we let about 8 to 9 businesses come and rock with us. We didn't take it for ourselves. We was like, nah, on some 125th Street type shit. I'm used to working with other people inside of these quote unquote spaces. That's just the Harlem in me. That's how 125th Street raised me up. I'm not doing nothing by myself. If I step out, we was outside, table to table to table to table. We was linked up like Voltron because we understood that it was us against the world. It becomes a lonely place. Remember, I got thousands of people walking by me on 125th Street. Some people is looking at me like I'm dirt. They looking at me and turning their nose up on me and whatnot. Like, look at this bum. Look at this dun-dun-dun. You know what I mean? He's outside with clothes and T-shirts and da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, shit, I'll take that. because y'all don't know nothing about me. Y'all don't know the mission and whatnot. And I knew I knew why I was there. So these are just some videos of my Investfest experience, right? My experience was unique. Everybody who has their critiques, you are warranted in your critiques, and I encourage you to continue to critique, raise the alarm, say, speak your mind. Speak your mind, because one thing that I will never do is I'll never try to convince nobody to see the world the way that I see it, and I can never convince nobody to have the experiences that I'm having. You feel me? But I had some beautiful experiences in the last few days and whatnot, because my people, I say this with all of my heart. We are some beautiful people, yo.
Yo, this is the future.
Our people, the people that I've been fighting for, the people that I've been doing this shit for, because I'm not just doing it for myself. Right? We some beautiful people. And we got a lot. We got a lot to, and collectively, we are way more powerful together than we are separated. So wherever I could go to see my people, I'm going there. I'm locking in, and my face card is good and whatnot. So everywhere that I go, the love is always there. The love is there. People is like, yo, I'm honored to meet you. I'm like, shit, I'm honored to meet you. The fuck? I'm honored to meet you. Why? Because I never met you, and you met me before I met you. I don't know who you, I don't know y'all on YouTube. I get to meet you at the Investfest. I'm looking for you. You got something for me. Let me get a hug. Give me some information. What do you do? What's your powers? Let me know who's looking at me. Man, I had some beautiful people rolling up on me talking about, yo, you changed my life. Yo, look. Hold on. These brothers come from Toronto. They told me that I changed their life. They was watching me in high school, right? So wherever I'm at, look at the young guys. I did an interview with them. It was powerful, right? Wherever I pull up to, it's like we just doing the work. You feel me? We doing the work. You know, I'm there with my young brother, KT. You know what I'm saying? D1. This was powerful. Yo, this talk right here was powerful. And it was Steve Harvey and Nick Cannon, who I wanted to throw something at Nick Cannon, but the information that they was, Steve Harvey, more importantly, not to take anything away from Nick Cannon, but you wouldn't think that Steve Harvey would teach me anything. You wouldn't think that I could learn from goddamn Steve Harvey, because I'm supposed to be this, I'm supposed to be so conscious, so woke. No, nigga, Steve Harvey was talking about insurance. He hit me with some bars. I was like, God damn. Thank you, Steve. I immediately, not later on, I went in the hallway and started Googling shit. I immediately got on top of what he was talking about. So yeah, it's a pep talk and whatnot and whatever. Yeah, but so what? Y'all be acting like y'all got so much, that like everybody's doing so much more bigger shit, and I got better things to do with my. No, I'm spending my time with 30,000 melanated people that's about their motherfucking bag. You know what I mean? I'm celebrating people like Yaki that's doing monumental things. I'm running into legends. You know what I mean? I think this was Hit Sayu's first Investfest, so he got to see the energy. He got to see what it looked like. He got to see the size of this. Look, Spence City came to Investfest a year ago on my invite, and he never left Atlanta after that. He never left Atlanta. He was able to turn Atlanta, you know what I'm saying, into his quote unquote public server. Right? There goes Michi from 19 Keys team and whatnot. Monumental things. The Acre Boys, legend. Come on, the Acre Boys, y'all. I met the Acre Boys on tour with 19 Keys about 3 years ago, and they've completely blown out of the water. They blown up. You feel me? So why wouldn't I go to the Investfest and walk through and represent this community when they got when they talk crazy about this community and where they try to throw this community away like we some bum ass dusties and we don't have nothing to offer in the field of wealth, and we don't have nothing to offer in the field of finances, and we don't have nothing to offer in the field of entrepreneurism, and it started in our community first. All of that vending at the Mart 125th, all of them tables, Rashad and them had to go through Harlem, and they seen the business taking place. And yes, they probably wanted to see it on a higher level, and they wanted to see that shit on a different level, and they did what they had to do to help step that up. And I'm I got to be grateful for that. Cuz the businesses that I heard, the businesses that I was able to see, the businesses that I was basically surrounded by, the businesses that were in that building and whatnot, blew my mind away. The level of quote unquote ingenuity that was, it's my Scorpions right here. That's Justin Burns, a legend. He was on stage. Bill Apps with AI. That's Secret. That's Sacred Secret. She's doing movies now and whatnot. So she introduced me to Justin 3 years ago at Investfest and whatnot. And I helped Justin go on a spiritual journey and whatnot. He went to Bali, he went to Africa, he went to different places just searching for himself. He was an entrepreneur, but now he's more grounded in his spirituality because he literally went on his hero's journey and whatnot. So it's just love. It's just love. You know what I mean? I'm proud of my people. I'm not a hater and whatnot. So I'm just showing y'all because these were some of my experiences. Yeah, there's scammer allegations and people have been done dirty by the guy that was down with DJ Envy and other shit. But that don't got nothing to do with me. The fuck? The same way that there's niggas wearing claws in the community, that don't got nothing to do with me. That's not gonna stop me from participating in the community.
I don't know where they can find you.
There's people in this community all in jail and locked up and all of that stuff for doing heinous crimes. That don't got nothing to do with me. So I'm not claiming it. By Nature Beads, check out the guy. He was showing a lot of love and whatnot. You feel me?
The biggest spin.
There we got the movie camera. That's a red camera. That ain't no phone camera, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. That's a movie camera. They were shooting red on the red camera. You smell me? You see the difference, right? So yeah, we pulling up and we shooting movies, man. It was definitely a BBL affair, but that's a whole nother story. We'll talk about that in a minute. You know what I'm talking about?
I'm a whole stimulus package. You gotta know when you got that power, the Midas touch. You feel me? Some people depreciate in value, and some people will appreciate your value. You gotta be able to differentiate between the two. That's what this Investfest is about.
Yeah, our people was outside, man. Our people was outside. You know what I'm talking about? I was at the Coochie Bar. Don't judge me. Do not judge me. I was at the Coochie Bar. You know? I had to tap in. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, the food trucks were there. The food trucks was there outside. I didn't eat nothing for like 2 or 3 days. I was fasting. You know? But they was there. You know what I'm talking about? That's very creative. That booth right there was probably the busiest booth inside of the Investfest on everything. Right, Riri? Riri was there. That booth always had a line. It was the Clean Coochie booth, I think. I forgot. Yeah, y'all know, I don't know about this. I just got put on to this stuff. I didn't even know that the Clean Coochie thing was big. But think about this. Think about this. Not it's ice cream. But that's not that was just a side thing. They was selling coochie products, right? They was selling coochie products and they had a big line, right? But remember in our community, right? When they were doing something called yoni steams. Remember the yoni steams? Remember the yoni eggs? Right? Here you go. There go the crowd. Right? There go the audience. Packed. This is a whole football stadium damn near. Right? I know somebody walked out of there with something that's going to help them out in their journey and whatnot. Right? But this room was separate from the room that I'm showing you with all the Rip Wright. That's a legend right there. If y'all know about Rip Wright, you already know what it is. He tried to put Blue Pill on the spot and whatnot. So Blue Pill had to show up. You know what I'm talking about? So the energy in that building was unparalleled. If you're going to critique it, you got to point me to where the energy is higher than this. Point me to where the energy is better than this. Point me, please. Because this is basically new black. This is the new, remember, I don't know if y'all remember this. I don't know how far y'all go into supporting black people, but there's something called the Black Expo, the New Life Expo. There was something called We Buy Black. How many people remember those conventions? Because that's literally what this is a continuation of. It just got bigger and whatnot. Who remembers We Buy Black? Who remembers the quote unquote Jacob Javits Center where they were dealing with all of the black stuff, all of the black businesses? That's what I come from. That's what I come from. You know what I'm saying? That's where I come from. So I'm a business. I'm not just a spectator. I do business. So my face is my business. Before anything else, my face is my business. And my business is my business. I got items, you know what I mean? I got products and services. But the networking that I was able to do in this thing, the people that I was able to meet in this thing, unparalleled. Unparalleled. I don't know if y'all watched The American Gladiator on Netflix, but this is one of the stars right here. You feel me? He saw the gray hair. He was like, let's go do some push-ups and we'll be out of here in a minute and whatnot. Nah, we're not going to be out here in a minute. You fucking with the blue pillar, stronger than 10 gorillas, smoother than chinchilla. You know what I'm talking about? I promise you, this is not me. I'm not capping. After this session right here, we brought Rip Wright back to see him. All of this shit was gone. We came right back to where this was. 15 minutes later, it was gone. This nigga packed up and probably was in the car breathing and whatnot. It was gone. His name is, I don't know his name. But if y'all was watching American Gladiator, you know who he is. You know what I'm saying? Blue was working him. He Nigerian. That's all I know. You feel me? I'm so proud of my brother. You know, I don't tell him enough, but I'm so proud of my brother. You know, the work that he's been putting in. You feel me? It ain't just about push-ups. You know, he was selling his honey. He was dealing with the microgreens. He was just handling his business and whatnot and standing on his square. And I'm very proud of him. I'm very proud of KT. KT was in the building. He was a minister in health and whatnot. I'm so close to getting into this health and wellness thing, man. I promise you, I am so close to turning my life over to the health and wellness because I'm really feeling like that's a calling that I need to answer. I don't know. You know, I don't know where I'm going to fit into it, but this is a calling that I'm getting. And then the last day, right? We had a networking event yesterday. right? Where we was chilling, and we was at 19 Keys. He had like a private event, right? On a land and whatnot. And there was so many beautiful people that came out. Millionaires. We was in a building with millionaires, future billionaires, health practitioners. We was doing sound bowl healing. They was doing massages and whatnot. There was all type of stuff. So those worlds, health and wellness, which happens to be a $6 trillion industry and whatnot, right? It has our face on it right now. It has our face on it right now. So I'm really beginning to shift in that direction, because at the end of the day, I need to tap into things that give me life. You know, I need to tap into things that are more rewarding life-wise. And I'm loving the health and the wellness spaces. But yeah, we was out here building and politicking and whatnot. And like I said, we some beautiful people. We some beautiful people. I need more positivity coming from my counterparts. I need more positivities coming from people in my community. I don't need nobody talking down on what the fuck I'm doing and what my peoples is doing. Please, let's not do that. We put in too much work. We not doing nothing wrong, bro. We're doing so much right. We're doing so much right. We're trying our best. Nobody's perfect. We're trying our best, bro. That shit is disheartening. Let me let my homegirl rant. Yeah, let's get into our fucking rants.
As Black women today don't walk like they deal with God, based off how y'all behave as women, based off how y'all raise y'all children. Real conversation. Y'all don't even believe in God. God and religion is two separate things. Religion is church. Religion is prayer. Religion is the Bible. Religion is your pastor. Like we're not gonna play this game. Y'all don't believe in shit. Y'all don't believe in morals. Y'all, because every single day y'all are walking a lifestyle that y'all know for a fact is fucking wrong, but because you choose not to step into that darkness that you need to heal, y'all don't want to like I'm irritated. I don't give a fuck what nobody gotta say. And then when people like me get up here and post videos, oh my God, you're homophobic. Call it what the fuck you want. I rock with God. And if God don't rock with it, I'm not rocking with it. God didn't make you to be no bitch. You're a grown ass man with a beard and a fucking wig and I don't care. Cause it's bullshit. Y'all are literally preying on little ass boys. I don't care. I don't care how nobody feel. I don't care about your feelings. The planet was not made for our fucking feelings and we're fucking up our community, literally. Nigga, who gonna protect the women if some shit really happened and y'all turning everybody fucking gay? I don't think y'all are having real conversations and it's the Black women supporting the bullshit. Black women are taking their sons to the fucking nail salons. Black women are allowing their boys. I'm not interact with men based off the conversation. So I'm going to be honest, Black women today don't walk like they deal with God. Based off how y'all behave as women, based off how y'all raise y'all children, based off how y'all interact with men, based off the conversations that y'all hold about men, based off how y'all handle y'all pain. The Black woman does not walk with God, and that is why our community is where it is, and I don't care what nobody else got to say. My content has been getting suppressed. My pages have been trying to, people have been trying to get my pages banned because of the things that I choose to speak on, because in America, they want you to support the gay culture. They don't want Black people to speak up on what is going on. They don't want Black women to tell other Black women how to behave appropriately. And I'm not being funny, y'all. They're trying to take down my pages because they want y'all to stay in this structure that we should not be staying in. And I don't care how nobody feels. In 2026, Black women are literally going against the Black man and the rise of the Black masculinity, and I don't care. The things that we support as Black women is taking away our men, but then we're yelling and screaming about their negative behavior when we're allowing it. We're the ones raising them. We're the ones being left with them. And even if a man is in your household, you're the main teacher. You give birth, you feed them for the first 6 years of their life. That is your fucking child. I don't care about no man. That is your child. That baby's on your hip more than the man. Don't care. And women today, y'all are not behaving like appropriate women. Y'all are not behaving like women of God. Y'all are behaving like women of the white man system, and I don't care. The fact that y'all will go against your own black women for telling you that the things that we are supporting as women is bullshit shows how much y'all are demonic and enslaved. The fact that y'all are comfortable seeing your boys getting bent over by other men shows that you don't support your men. The fact that y'all are comfortable taking y'all sons to the nail shop shows that you don't like men. The things that y'all do shows that y'all don't like your sons. Because if you liked your sons, you would be pushing them in the direction of a son and not a daughter. Don't care how nobody feels. Black women in 2026 do not serve God. They serve the patriarchy. They serve the white man system. You might not think you are, but look at your morals, look at your values, look at your conversation, look at your choices, look at your decisions, look at how your children behave. Do they behave like real black people, or do they behave like integrated black people? Do they walk by God, or do they walk by sight? Do they walk by fear, or do they walk by faith?
We are looking for new, creative, and unconventional ways to pressure and punish Iran.
Not yet, sis. Not yet. Not yet. Who saw Jonathan Major? Who saw Jonathan Major?
100 lashes to this nigga expeditiously. Put him in the field.
There are 3 ways Islam will conquer the West. Through immigration, through the wombs of our women, and by using our nation's freedoms against us.
New Goy Slop hitting the screen September 16th, straight from Daily Wire. I have never been more adamant on giving a movie 0 stars and make sure that it is the worst rated movie of all time.
Your country is beneath contempt.
We who love and serve Allah fought back against the Americans and the Zionists from the scourge of secularism and the lands of unbelief.
Yeah, they're immediately trying to conflate, but also make sure there's a difference between American and Zionist, where it's like, no, we're still God's chosen people, but like, we're on the same team. You guys are the Goyim, but, I mean, you know, the enemy, the infidels. It's like, really?
Listen carefully.
The great Satan, America, will fall. You are infidels. The bodies of women are not pure, and the men's souls are unclean.
Pharoah was like, let's get a guy that could possibly pass as a Palestinian person, but we can't actually hire a real Palestinian because that would mean like I'm paying a Palestinian to act in one of my movies. That can't go. And you signed on to be the villain? Like, I get it. I understand. Acting is tough. It's hard to find consistent work, but sometimes you gotta read a script and see who's behind it and be like, fuck no.
What makes them so dangerous? Their goals are not in this life, but the next.
I got friends here. I can't just leave.
Listen to me! In the law. We cannot run or hide from what is coming. We have to fight.
I will be rewarded 10,000 times in the next life. When you die, you're nothing. Only one way to find out.
Really leaning into the whole Islam is bad. If you're a Muslim, you are the fucking spawn of Satan. It's just like, wow. I mean, quite the choice. And does he understand that we all know what Goy Slop is now, and that every single person that watches this is just gonna make fun of it? That's the thing, though. It's like, this bitch better be like free to stream, because if you have to pay to watch it, I can't support that. But I can support hate watching. So he thinks the numbers is good, but then for all to be the worst rated movie of all time, that's well executed hate. You're 1,000 lashes, my nigga. You are fucking tripping. I don't know what human humiliation ritual you just had to go through, but it's not that important to get back in the Hollywood, gang. This shit is nasty work. Your star is incoming, you rat weasel looking bitch.
Comment, oh, what was Jonathan Major supposed to do? He needs money. I don't know, not be in the white supremacist movie? Literally anything else? Islam will conquer the West through the wombs of our women. That's the script that he looked at and thought, that's how I'm gonna make my comeback. The movie people are comparing to Birth of a Nation, and you're commenting, hey, he's an actor. He's gotta make money somehow. He was in Marvel movies. You think his options were this or be homeless? You took my only job Now I got a star in the white supremacist cuck fantasy. Like, why are you acting like this was his only choice? I'm sure he could have worked on some smaller indie projects. He could do some commercials. He could bag groceries. He could do TikTok shop ads. He could have been like, ice cream so good. Or for him, he'd be like, ice cream so good. Or, I'm sure he could have waited. Why are we acting like Hollywood doesn't welcome abusers with open arms all the fucking time? But no, he wanted to keep making movie star money so bad, he turned to Ben Shapiro. Now he's the actor who got arrested for beating women and then went, I'm racist now. I'm racist for money. I'll fall out the window making the racist movie for money. And for all the idiots that are gonna comment, oh, he didn't even do anything. They're just trying to ruin his life. He literally admitted to it and was found guilty. This is the hill you're gonna die on? No wonder you're so lonely. God damn.
Forcing style query, which military officials said was unusual.
They're stealing our water. This isn't about cooling AI data centers. AI data centers actually don't need water to cool them. They're telling us that they need the water to cool them because they're stealing our water. This is the Mississippi right here. It's historically low right now. It provides water to over 30 states. The Colorado River is at historic low right now as well. It provides water to 7 states. They're stealing our water. The elites are stealing our water. Stop using AI. Get off your couch and go protest the nearest data center coming near you, because if you don't, in 10 years, it's gonna be gone, guys. We need water to live.
I paid VIP to go to an event this week because if you've ever been in a room where everyone was smiling, but the air got thick the second you told the truth, this is for you. I paid VIP to go to an event this week because I resonated with the host's language. He spoke about surrender, God, your higher self. I thought maybe he's real. But when it came time to teach, it was regurgitated Joe Dispenza mixed with half-baked content advice. Just create content. Be consistent. That's not enough. Not in this economy. Not in this spiritual war. Then a 19-year-old kid asked for advice, and he couldn't even form the question clearly. You could feel his nervous system short-circuiting. The host gave lazy answers again, so I stepped in and said, you can't give him advice like that when you have communication skills, and he clearly can't even communicate himself yet. The entire room went, ooh, like I just punched someone's grandma, bro. When all I did was speak from truth. Look, I don't think the hosts are evil, but I do think they went to one retreat, learned surface level identity scripting, and started teaching from distortion. Because here's what they're not telling you. You cannot manufacture identity. Only God can grant it. Otherwise, you're scripting from a false timeline. And when that tower collapses, you'll think that God abandoned you. But really, he's just calling you back. And how do I know this? Because I fucking lived it over and over and over again. Until I remembered who I was. Until I remembered my scroll. And the moment I spoke, the room got uncomfortable. Not because I was wrong, but because distortion cannot tolerate scroll-coded mirrors. I didn't go to teach. I went to listen. But when a chosen one sees a child about to be led by noise instead of light, we step in. If you've been the one who walks in and the room reacts, if you feel like people either idolize or attack you, if your nervous system is tired of tolerating distortion, it's time to scan your scroll. No coaching, no just divine clarity. Comment, scroll below, or click the link in my bio. The field will always expose false authority.
I lied, sister. I lied. They do hate the flock cameras.
I said I didn't hate the flock cameras because the flock cameras prove my innocence, but they hate the flock cameras. They almost jumped me in the comment section and in my DMs. They hate them flock cameras. Bitch, they've been tearing them flock cameras down to the ground in Minnesota. They just tearing the flock cameras. They tearing them down everywhere. Every goddamn city that them flock cameras is popping up in, they tearing them down. Some of them got masks and shiesties on. Some of them is just out in the open in a tube top and some shorts and shit, just casually destroying flock cameras. They hate them fucking flock cameras. I lied. I'm so sorry about that. Y'all fucking the flock cameras up. Oh my God. Damn. America called herself trying to get a little Eagle Eye situation. Y'all remember Eagle Eye with Shia LaBeouf? Very problematic person. Okay? He not right in the head. But you remember Eagle Eye? Don't dim with flock cameras. Child, America swore she was about to have her Eagle Eye moment, girl. It ain't giving with Susan.
Email is one sign. The U.S. military asks troops for creative and unconventional ideas to punish Iran. In a message sent to a group of military analysts, a senior officer in the U.S. Central Command wrote, "We are looking for new creative and unconventional ways to pressure and punish Iran." The crowdsourcing style query, which military officials said was unusual over email, is one sign of the limited and potentially unpalatable options available to Trump to force Iran into a deal on his terms. Embarrassing. The commanders have turned against Trump. They're saying the situation is extremely dire. We have no munitions. To continue this war is not only detrimental, it's unwinnable. He wants to know, does anybody have any idea how we can beat Iran? If y'all could come up with some suggestions, any unique ideas on how we can actually beat them? No, nigga, we shouldn't have been over there. They're 5,000 years old. We're 250 years old. We can't compare where we can't compete. Leave them people alone and bring your ass home. They don't be shamed. They do not be shamed. The U.S. is locked and loaded and ready to go against the Islamic Republic of Iran, and levels of military terror, strength, and power not seen since World War II. Despite this, we have just been asked by Iran and other Middle Eastern countries to hold off any attacks, and this perimeters of a deal has been agreed to. This would include the immediate, complete, and total opening of the Strait of Hormuz and an end to Iran's nuclear threat. Based on this request, I have agreed. The country of Israel joins me in this commitment. Get to work, everybody, and get it done. The way he tweeted. Now, mind you, it came out that Israel didn't find out about this till the tweet. We all agree, and ain't nobody agreed on nothing. Put boots on the ground. You know, Israel don't give a fuck. You know, they don't give a go. I don't give a fuck if they'll die. Send the military out there to try to save face, and the face been gone. Been chewed off, spit out, throwed up, and regurgitated all over again. And we done lost this war. Middle Eastern countries called him, I believe that. Leave them people alone. He said he doesn't know the contractor who did the reflecting pool. He was like, y'all said that, but I don't even know the guy. It's got to be dementia, but he does know the guy who's about to do the grass. When I tell you that White House looks all bad, helipad, he replacing that. Because he did say he wanted that, and then he changed his mind. And that's going to be another $5 million. Oh, the money. If y'all don't care, I don't care. Somebody going to replace all the grass, and they do grass all the time. They do the best grass. Now that's what he said about the pool. The guy he do pools all the time. He knows the guy, but the guy now, he don't know the guy who did the pool. He don't know him no more. So now we're on the grass. Ballroom got to be put up because you see what's happening out here. You see they're trying to take my life, so I need a ballroom. It's not a ballroom. It is a bunker. It is absolutely a military bunker with drone support on top.
Ways that you're going to get killed by the government, essentially. Holy shit. That set the tone perfectly. The first category is scientists who are trying to tell you how the world is working. And you can't know that because then we wouldn't have to work or whatever. And then the second category is like disgraced celebrities who are telling you the truth about people they've worked with. Like, let's say Oprah, Ellen, or Tom Hanks, and then they get pushed off a bridge immediately. Scientists get long-term radiated or just shot by the Brown School shooter. But the second category is really famous people, and they've taken money from special interests, and then they step out of line just a little bit. They only have to say a couple sentences to the wrong person, and then they get killed immediately by a country that we can't say out loud. So it's weird. He falls right in between controlled opposition, and did his Erica Kirk and business partners kill him, right? Or was it our government? Or our government. And so essentially, when I weigh that out, I go, well, controlled opposition, what is that? Obviously, they tell you exactly what you want to hear while they sell you nonsense. Just like literal nonsense. Do they allude to all the ways they're gonna die without actually ever revealing anything that's important? Well, yeah, so those two check and kind of check, right? With Nature Jab, I'm like, is he not telling me about his family life at all? And like the child support and the fact that the technology's been around for a while? Like, okay, well, that's also weird. And his wife obviously looks evil as hell. But the crazy thing is that Joe Phelps got out of prison after 10 years, and you guys are confused about tattoos, and you haven't met enough really short white people who are always shirtless all the time. I'm more confused at why the scriptwriters gave him a costume and he was shirtless all the time. Every white guy that I know has tattoos that they don't understand. The weird part is he found half those Bibles in a dumpster in South Carolina. The moral of the story is stop announcing you're going to post something that's going to change the world with ancient texts or free energy, and just do it, right? And so if this guy Nature Jab like owes you money, just say that, right? If you're working for him, and then he says, no, let time work this out. Everything will be figured out in the end. And then his wife is like posting on his page, and then she's deleting posts. If that happened to me, can you cancel her? That's crazy behavior. Like, who's protecting this guy? Why was he so isolated? And that's why the whole honeypot thing is like, actually makes a lot of sense, but no one knows anything, right? Because no one knows anything. All right, have a day.
Kind of crazy. Yeah. When I saw the brother Nature Jab, I didn't talk to him about this situation. I didn't bring it up. But yeah, it's kind of cuckoo what's going on. But like I said before, the brother Nature Jab should be protected. He should be protected. He definitely should be protected. Check it out.
Need you to understand how absolutely insane the global financial system just became. America is helping Japan defend the yen, partly because Japan owns over $1 trillion of America's debt. Yeah, you didn't know that one? Japan has roughly $1.1 trillion plus in U.S. treasuries, meaning America owes Japan an enormous amount of money, bro. But Japan's currency got absolutely crushed. So Japan started spending tens of billions buying yen to defend it. Then something historically weird happened. America joined them for the first coordinated yen buying intervention in decades. And here's where this becomes hilarious. How did America get the yen? The US Treasury had the New York Fed sell euros to buy Japanese yen to help defend Japan's currency. Bro, Europe's paper sold for Japan's paper by the country whose paper Japan already owns over $1 trillion of. And why should America care? Because if Japan desperately needs dollars to defend the yen, one source of dollars is its enormous foreign reserve portfolio. Japan held about 1.29 trillion in total reserves at the end of June, including roughly 929 billion classified as foreign securities. Heavy treasury selling could push treasury prices down, which means yields go up. And guess who has to refinance almost $40 trillion of government debt? America. So zoom out. Japan needs to protect the yen. America helps protect the yen, because instability in Japan can spill into America's bond market. While every government involved owes enormous amounts of money, denominated in currencies created by other institutions carrying enormous balance sheets, paper supporting paper, to maintain confidence in paper. Everybody asks me why I keep talking about sovereign cash flow. Because your entire life cannot depend on being the last person holding somebody else's promise. Your job is a promise. Your pension is a promise. Government debt is a promise. Currency itself is ultimately a claim within a system of trust. Build something you control. Comment, scroll below, or hit the link in my bio, because your scroll shows you the gifts, patterns, and direction you can use to build your own sovereign cash flow engine. Like, the system doesn't have to collapse for you to stop being completely dependent on it.
Story of Lil Donnie's extreme body odor. In addition to being a shitty person, Donnie also smells like a shitty person. In fact, based on decades worth of testimony, we have a pretty good idea exactly what he smells like. In the 2000s, it was common for productions of The Apprentice to stop, so Keith Schiller, his bodyguard, could clean him when he was incontinent. Kathy Griffin and Liza Minnelli described it as really bad and potent, like body odor mixed with scented makeup. Piers Morgan added that he covers that smell in expensive aftershave and hairspray. Mary Trump, his own niece, says that the thick amount of hair products he uses can be smelled from far away, even when outdoors. Adam Kinzinger described it as armpits, ketchup, a butt, and makeup blended and bottled as cologne. Anonymous accounts say he now smells like stale urine due to likely kidney failure and incontinence. And apparently his unofficial Secret Service code name is roast beef, which may be a joke, but it's funny enough to be real for our purposes. So what is our purpose? Well, it's very dumb and very petty, but how would we go about bottling this smell for mass consumption by the 30% of Margard that still supports him? For that answer, we go back to the ancient French discipline, l'art de la parfumerie. Step 1. We will need to deconstruct the smell into an odor profile. For BO, we use methylhexonic acid, butyric acid, and isovaleric acid, which have the smell of rancid butter, vomit, and cheese. For the notes of ketchup, we use dimethyl sulfide and acetic acid. For the smell of old makeup, we use ionones and waxy aldehydes that have a powdery rice-like smell. For hairspray, we would mix in ethanol, acetone, and a cheap floral musk of galaxolide. For the overpowering fecal spray, we would add indole and scatole, which usually smell floral when diluted, but in concentration it smells like day-old used diapers. Of course, for urine, we would add paracresol and ammonia. And lastly, we'd use a bit of methylfuranthiol for that meaty roast beef base. Now the goal is to create a scent pyramid made up of top notes, which are what you smell immediately, the heart, which hangs around for a few hours, and then a base, which lingers. We'd aim for the top notes to be the hairspray solvent with a bit of vinegar ketchup tang. Then the heart would give us the sweaty acids and makeup tones. Then the base would be the meaty sulfur mixed with feces. And eureka, we have it, the official scent of the 47th President of the United States. Slap a tacky gold label on it, and if the MAGA chuds have any money left, they'll snap it up like a Chinese secondhand overpriced cell phone.
Crazy, bro. Lord have mercy. That's your man's in them. Now, I want to say that I want to send a special shout out, and I woke up yesterday to Colombia going through an earthquake, and I don't know if people have even seen this, but Colombia got hit with the same force that Venezuela got hit with. And the ill part about this one right here is that the epicenter of the earthquake was basically the black part of Colombia. Now, remember when I went to Colombia in January and I was like, I didn't see a lot of our people, especially in Bogota, right? I was like, I felt the racism. And when I saw melanated people in the mountains and whatnot, Putumayo, they looked oppressed. That's just the best way I could describe it. They looked oppressed. And over there in Cali and whatnot, on the other side of Colombia, is mostly melanated, heavy melanation, a heavily melanated population. And I was gonna go back to see them. I'm still gonna go back to see them in Cartagena and whatnot. But this thing struck yesterday, and it struck in a predominantly black area, and they going through it. You know what I'm saying? So they going through it, you know. But I just wanted to put that out there. And yeah, but look at this graph right here. This is some interesting shit. Look at that. These are the countries that have been hit with the 7 above magnitude. Not this year, of course. This is throughout the time that they've been recording these earthquakes and whatnot. So what do you think that is? It looks more like a fault line type of thing. Is this all of the Amazon? I don't know. Is this mostly Amazonian territory? But yeah, if you look at that, they've been striking all of these countries. You feel me? They've been striking all of these countries and whatnot. And the latest country that got struck is the Colombia. You know what I mean? And like I was saying, the structure, you know, it's a lot of houses with the aluminum roofs and whatnot. It's a lot of houses built out of cement, cinder blocks. There's a lot of cinder block houses and whatnot. So yeah, it's crazy.
Colombia earthquake is connected to Smart City. The jab you took in your arm is connected to Smart City. First it was Venezuela, now it's Colombia. A 7.4 earthquake. Really. 7 plus 4 is 11. The first news report that came out, they said 111 people died so far. Fauci pled the fifth 111 times. 7 plus 4 is 11. I'm pretty sure they will find more people unalive, but the first report was 111. Thank you, Fauci. There's a reason why he pled the fifth 111 times. It was a chant, a mantra. Once again, that jab you took in your arm was for Smart City. Smart City is for the future. The jab is for the future. Nano particles. If you ever stop and research all the smart technologies we have, you will lose your mind. But the real question is, why do they want to give us smart technology? Do they think we're dumb? Do they think we need technology to make us smart? So many people believe that these smart gadgets is to help us increase our awareness. Bullshit. People need to understand that the people that so-called control this world, they have technologies where they can make earthquakes. In their mind, they probably saying, shit, if we knock down all these cities, we can rebuild it with Smart City. Shit, they already took the nanotechnology in their arm. So Smart City, AI, nanotechnology, we already have our robots. Oh, you think the future was about making robots? No, it was about turning people into robots. I just want to say rest in peace to everyone who lost their lives behind this nonsense because of someone else demonic bullshit.
The world has seen 8 major earthquakes in the last 5 months. 6 of those in the last 2 months, and it has a lot of people thinking, what the hell is going on? This has never happened before. We don't usually get major earthquake after major earthquake. The one in Colombia that just happened 5 days after the other major earthquake. They're becoming way more frequent. So let's look at this together and you tell me what you think's going on. April 1st, there was a major 7.4 deep offshore subduction quake in Indonesia. It decimated the island communities across the Molucca Sea. April 20th, just 19 days later, Japan is hit with a 7.4 magnitude earthquake. This triggers a tsunami warning. June 7th, the Philippines is hit with a 7.8 magnitude earthquake. This one's massive. Deadliest Asian event of 2026 so far. Massive structural damage. June 24th, Venezuela is hit with 2 earthquakes in 30 seconds of each other. A 7.2 magnitude followed by a 7.5 magnitude right afterwards. Causes huge amounts of death and destruction, 6,300 plus dead. July 17th, Mexico is hit with a 7.3 magnitude earthquake. Huge amount of destruction, minor tsunami waves on the coast. July 28th, Japan again is hit with another major earthquake, a 7.1 magnitude. This time it hit Kyushu. Severe building collapses, landslides, over 30 fatalities. And then August 5th, the Philippines is hit again with another earthquake of 6.3 magnitude, just a few weeks after the 7.8 magnitude that they just had. And then we've just had this last one in Colombia. August 10th, 7.4 magnitude. Over 130 deaths so far. Massive destruction. There is a theory that HAARP, which I'm sure you've heard of, directs powerful high-frequency electromagnetic energy called scalar waves into the atmosphere or into the ground to trigger major earthquakes. You can apparently create hurricanes or use it as a weapon of some description.
This strata right here represents the megathrust area underneath the ground. The rock represents the potential energy set up in the ground from a tectonic stress. As you can see, in a very few seconds, the resonant frequency built up in our model released the potential energy in the rock. That concussion, on a real scale, would have been felt for 100 miles.
Now, of course, this is unconfirmed. This is a theory. There is some evidence out there of it, but it's patchy.
Quietos todos, quietos todos, quietos, quietos, quietos. Quietos todos, quietos todos. Dios mío.
Look at that shit. Look at that shit. Imagine you in a high riser working on a fucking roof.
Dios mío, Señor. Padre eterno, Padre santo, Padrecito lindo. Ayúdenos, ayúdenos, Dios mío, Dios mío. Dios mío, lindo. Dios mío.
Yeah. So for the fam, I was tapping in with people out there. For the Colombian family, just definitely, yeah. I hope everybody is able to bounce back. All right. Let's go into some Chocolate Godiva. She's gonna have some bars. This is a longer video, but let's tap in with the goddess before we get up out of here.
Morning and happy Tuesday. Breaking news that is indeed breaking. Let's go ahead and jump back into the geopolitics and the key keys from overseas. Okay, so with that being said, yesterday there was a bit too much jumbled information coming out surrounding everything that's happening between Israel, Iran, and America for me to be able to confidently and definitively draw some conclusions. Here's what we knew. We knew that Donald Trump was traveling around. He's even seen golfing with air defense missile systems near himself. There were rumors that were happening over the past 3 weeks that Donald Trump had been snuck out of his last location in Turkey and in Ankara, where he went to indulge the sales of the fighter jets that Israel forbid Donald Trump from selling to Turkey. Right? So there are rumors that when he upon exiting Ankara, he actually exited in a food cabinet or food cart, like one of those rolling food carts. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, he's too big to even fit in one of those carts. Not only that, he has severe health issues. So I'm not sure if that is completely and totally true. I'm just going to give it some time for that to be clarified or for it to make its way to the surface. If it's real, then we'll see. We will hear more definitive details surrounding that particular issue. Well, 3 weeks later, we got the scoop in the Il Nana on what really took place in Ankara. So essentially, as we stated before, Israel felt some type of way about the sale of these fighter jets, in which they have made it clear they do not want to sell them to Saudi Arabia. They don't want to sell them to Turkey. They don't want to sell it to anybody in the nation surrounding Israel, the illegal occupying statehood of Israel, right? Donald Trump made it clear, nobody tells me what the fuck to do. If these are in my possession and we own them, they belong to the American military, I'm going to do what the fuck I want to do. He still goes to the appointment. Now, the reason why he was snuck out of there was because there were information coming out of pipeline that Iran was particularly supposed to be doing another assassination attempt on him. Or so we thought, because the word that's coming out on the street is that it wasn't Iran that was attempting to do a assassination attempt on Donald Trump. But in fact, it was Israel posing as Iran, trying to do a assassination attempt, but not necessarily a full-on attempt, more like close enough to an attempt that he survives it and he gets the message. Like, basically, I told your ass not to do that, and now I gotta do something to you. You know what I'm saying? I gotta make you feel something because now you playing in my motherfucking face. So essentially, they got word of it and they snuck him out in a food cabinet carrier truck. okay? So he was supposed to go back in his vehicles, but what is Israel known for? Blowing people's shit up, especially their vehicles, right? So he was supposed to go back in his armored vehicles, but instead he snuck out in a armored food truck. Okay, this is a steel food truck that is normally used. It's got a freezer inside of it. It's got all types of compartments and shit inside of it. And it's normally used to... Now, hold on, sister. Let me stop you right there. I know you was in the middle watching that video, but what better way to start the second half of the year than to help make sure that we are right on track and where we need to be and that we reach our goal and that I can continue bringing you these videos with better equipment, better sound quality, better video quality, you name it. So help Divine News Network reach our 50% goal in the next 30-some-odd days so we can be on track and make sure that launch day is right on point. Okay? Now listen, I know this goal was ambitious, but I know we can do it. With the support of all of you guys for the past 6 months plus, I know we can achieve our initiatives and get to where we need to be. Okay? So without further ado, make sure that you are sharing this video, that you are liking, and that you are making sure that you make your donation. Okay? Listen, the time has started. And we gotta go to reach. Send them funds, girl. And let's get back to that video. Bring large quantities of like meat or whatever the case may be. Not in a big ass like, tractor trailer truck. But in like one of those like silver food truck kind of trucks. You dig, baby, you dig. And that was because that it was just word at the time. They just had word that there was supposed to be some kind of assassination attempt. They didn't know exactly who it was. They assumed it was Iran, but the whole time Iran kept telling them like, no, that wasn't me, but best believe I'm on the way. You know what I mean? Like I still want that action. I still want that smoke. I'm 1000% going to be getting my revenge back, but I can assure you that wasn't me. You gonna know when it's me. You gonna hear me coming, okay? And there's nothing you'll be able to do when I'm coming after you. I'm still coming though. Never fucking rest. So boom, fast forward. We find this information out now. American them, they find this information out now. They sit on their hands. They don't say shit. I'm getting word that they are fully aware that it was them that attempted to do that back in Turkey. And they're blowing it and brushing it off as if it's like, you know what, we'll deal with this when we deal with it. But right now, I know they're not going to really do no crazy shit. And basically, like, they're speculating that Israel is like sitting around waiting to see like how America was going to respond. But moving forward, they're putting the potential nuclear deal on the forefront. So, boom, basically, he called Netanyahu after Netanyahu and his entire cabinet have been trying to sabotage not only the talks in Gaza, but also the talks with the memorandum of understanding for the Strait of Hormuz. Now, because Benjamin Netanyahu been showing his whole motherfucking ass from the root to the tutor this entire time that both sets of talks, in addition to the talks in Lebanon, have been going down, bitch, Donnie and them was like, look, this is the last chance, honestly, because they don't want to talk to us. You know what I'm saying? Basically talking about Iran. Like, they not trying to talk to us. Hamas already got us on ice, letting us know that until we get you straight, they're not disarming whatsoever. You need to get your shit the fuck together. Israel was like, I ain't got to do shit. I ain't got to get shit together. Fuck you. And basically America was like, we going to go in here. We going to have these indirect negotiations between mediators. You going to talk to people right. You going to treat people with respect. And Israel was like, I ain't got to do a motherfucking thing. I ain't got to treat nobody like Nathan. And basically America was like, you ain't going to do that same shit that you've been doing last time. Every time we sit down to have talks and you trying to assassinate people at the talks. What the fuck wrong with you? What the fuck wrong with you? You know, if you try to assassinate them, everybody around this bitch going to be on your ass. And Israel was like, look, I don't fucking need you. If I want to go after Iran, I'm going to go after Iran. Okay? I'm going to do what the fuck I want. Donald Trump let him know you going to treat people right and you ain't going to do nothing crazy. Shut the fuck up. You ain't going to do nothing crazy that's going to get out of hand. And Israel was like, no, I'm not. No, bitch, I'm going to do what the fuck I want to do. I don't give a fuck about it get out of hand. So I don't care. It can get out of hand. And America basically like looked at him and was like, you talk a lot of shit for a bitch I just had to peel up off the fucking concrete. Did you finish picking your teeth up off the floor after Iran whooped your ass them past 4 times? That's right. It's quiet on the creek. Shut your ass up. Israel didn't like that. They did not like that and proceeded to try and, once again, sabotage the talks. Now, this time was the last time. This last week, Iran finally had the fuck enough, and they said, you know what? That's it. That's a bet. Control your bitch. Either you get that bitch or I'ma get that bitch. But if I gotta get that bitch, we ain't gonna have this motherfucking problem again from this bitch. Do you understand me? Either you get that hoe or I'ma get that hoe. You got me? So basically, America was like, all right, like, chill, relax. Like, we're trying to, come on now. We trying to be diplomatic. And Iran was like, diplomatic these nuts, nigga. Guess what? I'm done. Bitch, at this point, you got me fucked up. You got all of Iran fucked up. Matter of fact, you got the whole Levantine fucked up. You hear me? We don't have a damn thing to talk about ever again. And America was like, ever? And they was like, ever again. Actually, don't worry about it. I can wait until you get out of office. Now, I was in the background like, damn, hold on. Abbas, real quick, because I know you are advancing to the final stage of that Strait of Hormuz talk deal that you inking down with Oman about who's going to control what direction and who's going to control what traffic and the GPS systems and all of the kikis and all the stuff like that. But what did you mean by we can wait until you're no longer the president and you're out of office? Like what you mean by that? You know what I'm saying? What you mean by that? Because I heard the inflection in your voice, and that to me sound like I'm gonna wait till you get out of office, but I'm not waiting 2 years. What's up with that? What you mean? What you mean by that? What you mean? And basically Abbas was like, you heard what the fuck I said. You heard what the fuck I said. Abbas gets up, leaves the fucking indirect talks. Okay, these are not direct talk. These indirect. All they can do is hear each other, back and forth through an intercom. Indirect talk. He gets up, and all I hear in the background is 3-6 Mafia while Israel screaming through the fucking phone. And the indirect talk, the Israeli cabinet screaming through the fucking phone. Oh, you don't know me, this, that, and the third. All you hear is 3-6 Mafia. As he's leaving out, I bet you won't. Hit a motherfucker, bitch. Hit a motherfucker, because that bitch knows. I was like, oh, this is messy. No, this is really messy. So, long story short, Israel and America are high-key beefing right now. They're trying to pretend like they're not. I know it's a lot of y'all that are like, oh, this happens every time. And it may happen again where they will, squash their beef temporarily. But at the frequency in which they are going back and forth and getting into these kerfuffles and the disagreements on how to handle the situation, and by the situation, I do mean the entire Levantine, because Israel has refused to leave out of Lebanon, Palestine, Yemen, and Syria. It's a good possibility that they really are beefing. You know what I mean? Sister, like how often it keeps happening, it don't feel like it's something that they are just like a plan that they trying to work and trying to stir up some drama. Like, no, it's just some drama that happens to be working to their benefit, unfortunately. Fortunate for us, but unfortunately for their predicament, it's some drama that they use and transmute to work to their benefit. I'm not sure if this time is going to be the time where they can do that, because like I said, Donnie is on high profile watch right now. He's quite literally golfing at his home with air defense missiles in the background because he's on high Smash Nation watch, because they don't know who's trying to Smash him. Everybody quite literally hates him. You know what I mean? So we're all wondering, like, when is it going to happen? If it's going to happen, what direction it's going to come from? It's a lot of messy stuff happening in the background. But what I was able to get clarity on is that Iran said that they have no intentions whatsoever of ever speaking to Donald Trump again. They don't want to talk. They don't want to chit chat about it. If either one or two things got to happen. Either Israel has to be completely wiped off the map in order for them to even so much as consider, or Donnie has to be out that office and Israel's wiped off the map. But bottom line, they not finna go back and forth with you about it, is what they're saying. Next time, there ain't gonna be the next time, because you just gonna have to feel me, is what they're saying. In which I say, well, why didn't you just do that in the first place? You know what I mean? Why didn't you just start with that? Now, on the home front, back in America, shit also ain't going too well. Pete Hegseth has been accused of doing what we already know he doing, which is, skiing on the slope, sliding in that booger sugar. And then we got internal mutiny happening, internal discourse and mutiny. Now, every time these things happen, they all seem to systematically happen in a cycle around the exact same time. It's like one categorical event, the failure of the talks or memorandum of understanding over the Strait of Hormuz ends up happening. America pretends like they no longer care about the nuclear deal or the Strait of Hormuz. Then it leads to complete and total discourse or a breakdown of the relationship between America and Israel in the disagreements of how the situation should be handled. And then there tends to be some form of internal crumbling happening within both political structures on the Democratic side, the Republican side, and at the exact same time, there seems to be some kind of discourse and some kind of disruptions happening within the Israeli Knesset, which is, again, these are patterns that I've noticed that are all simultaneously and systematically happening around the talks and any kind of talks of disarmament and any kind of talks of ceasefires. Once they fail, a whole ricochet effects of all these things tend to happen, and then America and Israel ends up out of nowhere getting back together, and then they do a sneak attack on Iran in some way, shape, or form. But that's not the case in this particular situation, because it looks like they are being very direct this time around. Chuck Schumer even came out, in addition to a former CNN analyst yesterday, as well as a senator, who all mutually agreed that Donald Trump is to blame for the failure of what's happening in the Strait of Hormuz. America and Israel have all lost this war that they started. And he also said verbatim, this is Chuck Schumer, okay? U.S. Senate Minority Leader, Donald Trump got us in an illegal war. Hold, pause. What? Sir, you enlisted your own niece that no one likes to try and help out with the situation. And Donald Trump wasn't in the office when that happened. The illegal war had already started at that point in time. You know what I mean? Like, it had already begun. The preface to it had already begun. And you rode that train ablazing straight to the fiery gates of hell with gasoline draws on. You didn't give a fuck. So now all of a sudden you switching up when you endorsed him. You endorsed him, you enabled that behavior, you even assisted and aided and ruined your niece's entire career, or what was left of it, excuse me, because it wasn't a lot. Oof, yikes. It wasn't a lot. And he said he's losing his illegal war. Didn't I tell y'all they will do all this shit? They'll ride this train on that midnight train to hell with you, and then when you fail, they'll just blame you. Because they're not going down for it. This is what Senate does. This is what the oligarch Senate, this is what they all do. And has no way out of his illegal war. Bullshit. It's bullshit. Because Chuck Schumer gonna get back in the ring. If Donnie say we gonna get back out there and we gonna send some B-2 bomber jets directly to Iran to get them to talk to us, Chuck Schumer gonna be the first person on board. He gonna be the first person, so don't believe any bullshit that he's saying. I just thought it was crazy that he's like being direct and going direct at Donnie. He definitely has done indirect attacks in the past, but this is like, okay, all right. Stay tuned and head to the next video, because we're gonna get into some more details that are important, to what is currently happening at a high level perspective.
Ladies and gentlemen, if any one of you in the audience had the privilege and the opportunity of hearing the Voltron album, let me get some feedback in the chat. And for those that are in the chat that did not tap into the album as of yet, I do want to announce that the Voltron Volume 1 is available. The QR code in the upper left, it is a digital download only. I'm sure you know why. We are not going the route of Spotify and the DSPs. We don't do the streaming thing. We don't believe in the streaming economy. We will have it on the DSPs eventually, similar to what Holy Ghost with Black Magic did. They put it on about 2 months later. It will eventually reach the DSPs, but for right now, it is only on the website, thechemistry.com, thechemistry.com. I got word back from my people at the record label that we got a lot of downloads, and the support was heavy on the first, the first day out, the Lionsgate. So definitely I want to give a thanks to everybody that supported, everybody that went and copped the album and whatnot. Salute to all of y'all. And for those who are looking for it, all you got to do is scan it and you will be tapped in to the album of the year. Go ahead and get your digital download and thank me later. You dig?
We
the collectors of the art, the thinkers, the doers, the knowers, the architectures of the art. Triple dark moon protectors of the hearts. Triple dark mega yachts, 444 megawatts. Firm biz, nature, Foxy, AZ, Don Escobar, moving megatons, mega bucks. 444 megatrons, they call mega bus. Went from Sega bus to a mega bus as we embark upon a hero's journey. Opening scene in Carlito's Way, laid out on a hero's journey. Staring off afar into the canopy of stars, unto Atlanta, me on Mars. Mama, my third eye active, cat. Seventh heaven, opened up the third eye atlas. On the third eye Thursdays, Voltron formed with bird's eye wordplay. Via the third eye persons in third grade. Revenge of the blur days, the Vic Mensa, mixed with the elixir Serpenta. Welcome to the center of a mentor.
Got the gods excited as I'm strapped up in my captain's chair. Autopilot. Spacecraft, I don't have to stare. Start a rifle. Pass through natural wear and crack the atmosphere. The daddy's here. Them tinfoil hatters that were gathered there just clapped in chairs. Left the faculty of NASA scared. Donald Trump started acting weird. He just sat and stared. I hit up Billy Carson for a chat. We're galactic pairs. Grab the bear. Acid in a chalice full of dragon tears. Cone-headed, 12-foot giant with a gold melanated suit. Ants-eyed Christ that the Catholics fear. Universal soldier, the predator. I'm traveling the galaxy for challenges. You clash with me, I'll scrap you there.
I'm going to put the address. Give me 1 minute. It's thechemistry.com, but it spells, let me show you. This is a new record label, The Chemistry. All right. Shout out to Nick. Shout out to Cam. Shout out to the whole fam. The QR code right there. You could also access it via the QR code. If you scan it, it'll take you to the website. And like I said, we're doing digital downloads right now, but we do have hard copy. We have cassette, album, and CD. Cassette, album, and CD. And we also have a merch pack. So definitely tap into all of that, the hard copy. And like I said, we do have, today is the first day, today's the birthday of hip hop. So we may be doing an album listening tonight. If not tonight, definitely tomorrow. There's a planetary alignment tomorrow. So if you don't get the album listening tonight, you more likely will get it tomorrow. And we will also be on, we'll be popping out. You'll see us.
Got the gods excited as I'm strapped up in my captain's chair. Autopilot. Spacecraft, I don't have to stare. Start a rifle. Pass through natural wear and crack the atmosphere. The daddy's here. Them tinfoil hatters that were gathered there just clapped in chairs. Left the faculty of NASA scared. Donald Trump started acting weird. He just sat and stared. I hit up Billy Carson for a chat. We're galactic pairs. Grab the bear. Acid in a chalice full of dragon tears. Cone-headed, 12-foot giant with a gold melanated suit. Ants-eyed Christ that the Catholics fear. Universal soldier, the predator. I'm traveling the galaxy for challenges. You clash with me, I'll scrap you there. Warlord, I can smell the blood when the battle's near. See the smoke from the disaster that happens after clear. Buoyant, telepathic, empathic seer. I'll imagine atoms somewhere in there.
Yes. That is 12 tracks. Red Pill, Blue Pill, Cambada. And we only have one feature, and that's from Just B. Other than that, it's pretty much us handling business and whatnot. And the album has a very unique sound. It's a very unique sound. I would definitely say the album has 3 parts to it. It's 12 tracks. It's 3 parts to it, 3 acts and whatnot. Very cinematic and whatnot. That the whole thing is mostly based around the Third Eye Atlas. We are juxtaposing the Third Eye Atlas and the cartoon, the Voltron lore, somewhat together. So that's kind of the theme of the things, you know what I mean? Futuristic hip hop. We definitely have a new sound. This is not like any of the projects that you've heard before. Even with Cambada, this is a new Cambada. This is post Cambada. He got 2 children. This is a new Cambada, and this is definitely a new Red and Blue. So yeah, it's hard to even compare it to any project that we put out before. But if y'all familiar with Twin the album, that it was me, Blue, on the double disc, the red and blue disc, that's probably the closest to where it is that we could compare this album to. But yeah, Blue is at the top of his game, Cam is at the top of his game, and I'm definitely at the top of my game. And the production on this, crazy. It's mixed down and it's mastered and it sounds wonderful. Play that shit very loud. Trust. We will we have an album release. We're gonna have an album release in Atlanta, maybe in 2 weeks. I'll give you the date. I just have to make sure that we plan it. I don't want to rush things, even though this album was rushed and whatnot. It wasn't rushed. We literally spent like 2 or 3 weeks tightening up everything, but the release date was rushed. You know what I mean? Because we wanted to make it to the 8/8 Lionsgate. Theta Waves is not on this album. No, Theta Waves is not on this album. Theta Waves is on the project coming after this. This is Theta Waves is not on this project. No. No, sir. This album and everything that you be Got It Going On is on this album with a new verse by Blue. That made the album. But everything that's on this album is produced. This is a producer-based album. So the majority of the work is Nick Price. And then we have Black Magic on like three songs. That song that you just heard right there, that is Brother Rich, aka Black Magic beat. He's on about 2 or 3 songs, and then everything else is Nick Price. So, you know, we're keeping it to whereas Theta Waves is not done by any of them, so it won't make the album. It's gonna be on the Red Summer Deluxe. All right. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say thank you. Techno Tuesdays tonight with Spence City and whatnot. Definitely look out for that. That's coming up. Me and the brother are gonna do, more than likely, we'll do a recap of the Investfest because we were there together in different capacities and whatnot. He was doing what he was doing. We were doing what we were doing, but we were linked up. We were moving around, making it happen. And yeah, his perspective. Brother Jefferson, who was also there. I want to talk to people who were there. And I also will invite anybody who wasn't there, who just was watching it from the internet, and just see how they feel about it. You know what I mean? And we'll share with them how we feel. Now, once again, like I said, I'm not dismissing anybody's critique because all critiques are welcome. All critiques are warranted and whatnot. You know, the whole thing about them platforming grifters back in the days, and you know, all of that shit is warranted. Granted, do your thing. You know what I'm saying? Bust your gun. But everybody could be right and wrong at the same time, and we all have perspectives that deserve to be respected. We all have perspectives that I feel deserve to be respected. So that's the goal, is to respect everybody's experience and whatnot, and not try to ridicule, demonize, or, you know, or belittle anybody based off of the decisions that they make in their business, right? Because I'm a businessman doing business inside of a building with a lot of people in that showed up for business purposes. You understand? Business. So it's a whole different thing. This ain't about meditating. This ain't about none of this. This not about who's right or who's wrong. And this ain't about controversy. This ain't about none of that. This is about business. Doing business. You feel me? So shout out to all of my business owners and whatnot. And this will be my, and I'm building on it later, but this will be my number one takeaway from the Investfest 2026. And I'm going to play this clip. Really, let me play this clip, then I'll share that. Peace, family. Peace to you and yours. Brother Red Pill reporting live and direct. Yes.
Brother from the inside of AI. Spin. Look, man, we are recapping our experience from live inside Investfest. It was KTL Media. It was KTL AI.
Yes, Know the Ledge, AI, KTL Media, Athletics in the building.
Man, come on.
We had the Imaginarium representing Fantasy Complex Industry. Look, We got so much to talk about tonight. We had an event, a networking event with 19
Mastermind, super mastermind.
Super mega minds. Super mind, mastermind. Shout out to everybody that pulled up. Yeah, we have a lot to talk about, a lot to share. Family, make sure y'all tapping in. We also gonna be playing some cuts off that Voltron album. It is going to be a movie.
Monumental movie, so don't miss it. It is your brothers from the inside of the game. Techno Tuesdays, the Technocrats. Peace to you and yours. I will see y'all later on.
Make sure y'all get y'all jip right. So, what I would say when I walked away from that event, and what I would say that I would stand on is that Atlanta needs an incubator. And being in that building with hundreds of businesses and whatnot, I would say that the best thing and you know, I'm saying this to everybody here, but I'm backing it up with paperwork and with a proposal, and I'm literally bringing it to the brothers from EY. I'm not just talking on a platform to hear myself. I already had a conversation. With people who basically, you know, could make something happen, and we're going to draft a proposal to whereas the city of Atlanta, under the leadership of Andre Dickerson, who's the mayor, a black man, who came out on stage on Saturday at the Investfest. He came out on stage in front of 30,000 people and whatnot, and they gave him a good reception, right? So I've walked inside of buildings in Atlanta that look similar to where I was just at in this convention center and whatnot, and they were empty. So my whole thing is this. The best thing that these two brands could do, EYL as a brand, along with Atlanta as a brand, they could get together and they could create something called an incubator or an accelerator for Black businesses. So we could begin the quote unquote boycott. Fuck a boycott. Where's the boycott at? These businesses that the businesses that I'm supporting and whatnot, the businesses that I was in front of during these last 3 to 4 days and whatnot, if they were in an incubator where they had resources available, they were able to build up their business credit, they were able to get investors, they were able to get more manufacturers, they were able to get more volunteers and whatnot, these would be the next quote unquote multi-million-dollar businesses. We need that. We don't need to be getting up once a year and whatnot and tapping in. That's not enough. It's 2026. The economy is fucked up right now. We need businesses. And guess what? Those businesses could turn from LLCs to corporations, but you need to be in an incubator with people who have already done it before. So now when you bring the billionaires on stage and whatnot, and you bring the millionaires on stage and whatnot, these millionaires and these billionaires, besides just talking to the people, they could be dealing with these businesses in the incubator. And then that's when it really we begin to take effect, similar to what they do in Y Combinator. And once they get these businesses dressed for the party and whatnot, these businesses could offer shares, these businesses could offer equity. And now we are invested in these businesses. We're not just supporting the businesses, we invested in the businesses, similar to when we do Wednesday shows with Brother Heru, and he talks about the stock market. Right? And the power of the stock market. But the key to the stock markets are the shares and whatnot. So we could develop these shares by incubating these businesses for about a year and whatnot, taking care, making sure that everybody is getting everything paperwork right. Everybody is getting their business together. Businesses helping in other businesses, not competition. We have enough competition around the world. We could support one another. And then when they have EYL Africa or Investfest UK, Investfest Africa, when these businesses that are in the incubator, when they pop out front and center and whatnot, movie. Yeah, dollar cost averaging and all of that. Movie. Yes. And the think tank could be a component of the incubator and whatnot, because inside of this facility, we could be doing three things. We could have a marketplace similar to what I was showing you, because that's where I spent most of my time, in a marketplace, because I have businesses. I didn't necessarily need to go and listen to the teachers teach and whatnot, because I already listened to the teachers teach. What was that? Many years ago, and they inspired me. I went to I went to the Black Expo. I went to We Buy Black. What you think I was doing? I was in those rooms. I went to the Black Woman Expo. I used to be in those rooms taking notes. How do you think I learned about technology and whatnot? And then I applied it. Not to say I don't need to be in these rooms that they were doing and whatnot, but I can't be in two places at once. Now, you know that an event is super lit when you wish that you could clone yourself. You know that these events are, you know you in the right place when you wish that you could split yourself in three, because there's so much going on that you can't handle everything as one person. That's when you know that you're in the right spot. Vinyl, cassette, and CD for this album is on the way. It's being pressed up as we speak. Yes, we are going super hard copy, right? We are going super hard copy. In the meantime, between time, until the hard copies are ready for you, we have the digital download so you can enjoy that. But for all of my DJs, all of my MCs, all of my collectors and whatnot, all of my musical connoisseurs, yes, we please understand, we have you. We got you on the vinyl. We're going to bring the wax and whatnot. The Voltron album sounds great on vinyl. I was able to hear the sample and whatnot on the vinyl. It sounds superb, and you'll be able to experience that. But yes, that's what the proposal is about. If there's grant writers in this building, if there's grant writers in my audience inside of this network, I need you to tap in with us, and I need you to be as loud as I'm being right now. I need y'all to be loud. I need y'all to make yourselves known and whatnot. Not in the chat. Hit us up on an email. Let's do business, because that's what we need. We need all of that money that the government got. They talking about they taking money away from our people. Well, they got money somewhere. There's money out there. Let's get to it, because we need that. I can't rely on the people and whatnot. The people are not. No, let the government take care of this shit. Let big corporations, let them, because they gotta let the non-for-profit. Yeah, let that money flow. Let that flow. Let us touch that. Let us get that bread. I don't want the people's bread. I want the government's bread. You know? Yes, corporate kits. You feel me? Corporate kits. Are there tour dates for the Voltron? Not as of yet, but I'm going to tell you this, and I'm going to say this, and I'm going to stand on it. Right? Sis, Kiss Cassie, you're going to have to email me, and I will take care of you. I'll make sure that we troubleshoot you. I'm gonna say this, right? This strong end in Atlanta, right? In the West End, brother Source Guard put together, Blue Pill, Source Guard, and the rest of the team. We all put together Welcome Back to Atlanta's block party, right? Welcome to Atlanta's block party. Indigo Bang was one of the performers. Me and Blue were one of the performers. Sister Ma'at was one of the performers. Source Guard was performing. There were a lot of performers, and I'm gonna say it like this. Based off of what I saw, and based off of what I experienced, and based off of what was shown to me, yeah, we're ready for a tour. America Sutton was in the building as well. We're ready for some type of tour. It don't got to be a world tour, but we ready to hit the Chitlin circuit. We ready to get up in these clubs or whatever it takes. But the talent is talenting right now. The talent is up there. Our brothers and sisters are definitely doing it when it comes to this music. They got their shit together. The singles are strong. The sound is strong. The performances are strong. The music is strong. Let's go. Let's go. And we will definitely let everybody know when we hit this road. But we're going to bring some of these opening acts with us and whatnot. I want everybody to witness the greatness that's happening right now on the musical front. You know what I'm saying? Through the artistic side. But yeah, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I will tap in later and whatnot. Peace, love, and light to the family. The QR code, once again, go and get your album. You feel me? Go and grab the album and whatnot and enjoy that. and we will catch up with you. Yeah, smell me. Let me leave this Cash App for anybody that wants to donate to the channel, because like we said, this is supported by the people. Okay, we don't get no YouTube checks and whatnot. This is supported by the people. This is how we keep going. And without the support of the people, we will not continue. You feel me? So with that being said, peace, love, and light to the family. We'll catch up with you.
Can't beat us, join us, please bring your coinage. We sink 3-pointers, money shots, all net, all vets. Bumps we not, jet skiing in them sunny spots. With women edible like gummy drops. Dummy stop, dummy stop. No weapon form can intercept a storm. Once my intellect is on, I'm projecting on magnetic fields. And interact with blacks with athletic bills. I'm all about growth and development like residents of Ebbets Fields. Not to choose between woo and chew. We wanna line them colors up like a Rubik's Cube. And fade to black, yeah, the truest hue. When you say the black man is God, who you alluded to? The usual, Clarence 13X, a worthy guess. The words expressed come from the word in flesh. Elijah M, the NOI versus Leviathan. Messiah sent from the heavenly branches. 7 P's from since G-Dub cut down the cherry tree. In the wilderness of North America, and we flossing death and forced aggression, or forced perception, forced protection, or forced confessions. It's all a lesson.
The sorcerers from Corsica, killer tonics, sticks and drums like the Philharmonic Orchestra. You niggas still playing harmonicas from officers. Fabric softener, jive turkeys popping 5 perkies, playing with keys, the Scotch storage type. For that soft white, we could've caught life, just being forthright. First class on my 4th flight, popping out like Fortnite. Every night we lit like Porsche lights. The meek shall inherit the earth, oh yeah, the scorched type. And these niggas, they some hoes in these streets. Me, I'm 10 toes in these streets. They lost their souls, niggas got holes in their feet. Shit, I'm just worried about the craft and how to perfect it. Not worried about the craft, yeah, that's out of perspectives. Focus on the chip like I'm Robert Kraft, and then how to protect it. It's the waves of the oceans. Get to the money, nigga, save your emotion. Descended of the slaves in the graves in the oceans. Mastermind that the waves is in motions. These niggas, they addicted to the folly, addicted to that molly. Making me a movie, them sticks made of holly. I'm Dr. Manhattan, sitting on top of Manhattan. When I get all 5 rings, snap my fingers and pop up on satin. Dressed in all black, yeah, drop top the Phantom. Blast.
Crumb TV.